They battled back in the second quarter, scoring 21 unanswered points. And late in the game, with the score tied at 21, Mark Tate scored the game-winning touchdown, an 8-yard run with 29 seconds remaining, giving Prep a 28-21 win and their first ever shot at the PIAA Quad A State Championship. The only team standing in the way of that elusive state crown is Central Bucks West. They won easily over Easton in last week's Eastern State Final by a lopsided 34-12 margin. Coach Mike Pettin has built a winning tradition at Central Bucks, which is located just north of Philadelphia. They won 53 straight games between 1984 and 88, and they're enjoying now a 13-0 season this year. Central Bucks is number 4 in the nation in this week's USA Today rankings, while Prep checks in at number 17. It promises to be a great matchup. Two undefeated teams seeking their first ever state championship. We're now about 30 minutes from the start of today's game in Altoona, and this is Countdown to Kickoff. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm John Evans, and welcome to WJET-TV's exclusive live coverage of the PIAA Quad A State Football Playoffs. We'll soon be going to Altoona, where WJET-TV's Mike Gallagher and Brian Duffy are set to call the action between the Cathedral Prep Ramblers and the Bucks of Central Bucks West. The AccuWeather forecast calls for windy and cold conditions in Altoona this afternoon, with rain showers likely. But keep in mind they'll be playing on artificial turf in Altoona today, but the wind could affect both the passing and the kicking games this afternoon. Prep enters the ball game with a perfect 14-0 record, a school record for most victories in a season. Here's a look at their season schedule to date. They opened up with a game on the road against Bishop McNamara in Maryland, and the Ramblers came home with a 48-6 victory. Next up, the outstanding battle at Veterans Stadium against national powerhouse Cincinnati Muller, and a 21-19 victory in that game that will long be remembered as a turning point for this Prep football team. Coach Minna George and his troops survived a scare on September 14th at the stadium against State College, pulling out a 15-14 win. On September the 20th, Prep faced a much-improved Academy squad under first-year coach Tim Holland, posting a 20-point victory. Next up, DuBois on the road and a 32-7 decision there. Prep returned home for 4 straight home games at the stadium. It started off with Strong Vincent, the other team, of course, involved in state playoff action today at the AAA level. In front of one of the biggest stadium crowds in years, Prep held on for a narrow 7-0 victory over the Colonels of Coach Joe Buffalino. On October 12th, Prep beat East 38-9. On October 18th, a 21-0 shutout of highly respected Cleveland St. Joe's. It would be the first of 5 straight shutouts by the Ramblers. On October 26th, they blanked Tech 27-0. The following week at McDowell, it was a 28-0 decision to close out the regular season, then on to the playoffs. And in the District 10 final in Meadville on a cold and rainy night at Benderfield, Prep beat the Solid Bulldog Club 13-0. And in the Region 3 semifinal, a narrow 7-0 shutout of Punxsutawney. In the Region 3 final, it was a rematch with State College, and after posting a 1-point win earlier in the season, Prep posted a decisive 49-10 triumph. And then last week in Latrobe, they took on the big team from Connellsville. And that last-minute touchdown by Mark Tate sewed up a 28-21 victory and the Western Final Championship. Prep is now just one more victory away from that elusive state Quad A title. Well, to get this far along in postseason play, you know that Prep coach Minna George has got to have some quality players. And at the top of that list is senior tailback Mark Tate, a young man who's not only clearly at the top of his class academically, he's at the top of the list for many college scouts. The Ramblers are led by senior Mark Tate, who has put together some outstanding numbers this year. The talented tailback scored 24 touchdowns, gained over 1,800 yards, while only fumbling 2 times. He's high on the recruiting lists of many Division I schools like Penn State, Pitt, and Ohio State. What's even more remarkable is the fact that Tate plays defense as well, as a safety for the Ramblers.
I'm going to play offense and defense, hopefully, and I'm just going to try to do my best on both sides of the ball because I know they have a good quarterback. So on defense, it's going to be a real challenge for me to try to stop their defensive backs and their quarterback. And on offense, it's basically the same thing that we have been doing, to try to run the ball.
Tate shares the credit for his success, though, pointing out that it's a team game, and teamwork is the key.
I think this year we definitely have a special relationship with all our teammates because, I mean, we started out, we've been with each other for a long time, ever since like spring training and football camp. I think we know each other a lot. We know each other's tendencies and things like that, so I think that helps us out on the football field because we're all good friends.
Last weekend against Connellsville, it was Tate who scored the winning touchdown with 29 seconds left, giving Prep a 28-21 victory. For the game, he gained 149 yards against the huge Connellsville defense. This week's challenge, though, comes from Central Bucks West.
Well, I'm sure for them to make to the state championship and to be undefeated, they have to be a well-coached team and a hard-hitting team. So we're not too much worried about what things they do. We just want to try to prepare ourselves mentally and physically, and hopefully we'll be able to come out and beat them.
It is also a star basketball player for the Prep Ramblers, and he'll shift to the hoops game starting next week. But for now, he just wants to enjoy the experience of playing for the state championship.
Well, this whole experience, I think, has been a great opportunity for myself and my teammates. And we just feel that we're really blessed to be here. And we just want to make the best of the opportunity, because I think as a high school athlete, one of your dreams and like your major goal is to go undefeated and to win a state championship. And now we have the opportunity to do that. And I think we want to make the best of that opportunity.
When Countdown to Kickoff continues, we'll go live to Altoona for an update on today's PIAA championship.
From all of us at the First, we wish you the happiest of holiday seasons and a prosperous new year.
Jet FM 102, Erie tradition. 40 years of rock and roll. For 40 years, there's been only one Erie radio station where the hits have been made. Play and stay. The tradition carries on. Jet FM 102.
In 1985, Action News reported live from the People's Republic of China. WJET was only the second U.S. TV station to do that. In 1988, Action News followed Congressman Tom Ridge to South Vietnam, reporting live on his fact-finding trip on Amerasian children. And on the 50th anniversary of the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor, Action News reported on the people and events that commemorated that important event. Whether it's around the block or around the globe, Action News is there.
This year, Altoona's Mansion Park was chosen as the site of the Quad A football championship game, and both Cathedral Prep and Central Bucks had to travel considerable distances to reach the game site. But despite the distances involved, you can be sure the Ramblers and the Bucks will have their share of fans in the stands this afternoon. Our announcers in the booth are Mike Gallagher and Brian Duffy. And now let's go live to Altoona for an update on today's ball game. Gentlemen, take it away.
Welcome, everyone. You are looking live at Mansion Park, the site of today's PIAA Quad A State Championship game, featuring our own Cathedral Prep Ramblers and the Central Bucks West High School Bucks. Both teams coming in undefeated. It's certain to be a great contest. Currently, it is just under 50 degrees. The temperature is expected to drop, but one of the key problems could be coming in today, could be the wind. The wind expected to pick up and maybe exceed gusts of 50 miles per hour later in the afternoon. Will it be a factor? We'll have to wait and see. Our own Brian Duffy is standing down on the field. Duff, good afternoon. What are the conditions as we speak?
Hi, Michael. I think there are four things, and I think you hit one of them right on the head that we're going to have to look for in this football game. Number one, it's going to be the weather. About a half hour ago, it absolutely poured here. The field is a little bit wet, but I think of more concern right now is going to be the wind. Central Bucks West is a passing team. It's going to hurt them if they've got to go to the air in this wind. I think the other thing you've got to look at is pressure. Who's going to deal with the pressure of playing in a Quad A state championship game better? Another thing we've got to look at is the field. We're playing on artificial turf. Prep played here a couple of weeks ago against State College in the playoffs, and they absolutely love the surface. They think it's very conducive to what they're going to try and do offensively. But the main thing we've got to watch for today, when Prep is on defense and Central Bucks West is on offense, is deception. You will not believe what Central Bucks West is going to try and do offensively. They will come at you with more offensive sets and formations than most high school, college, or pro teams will come at you with. So for Prep's defense, what they're going to have to do is read and react to what Central Bucks West does after the ball is snapped. Now, when Prep goes on the offensive side of the ball, as I bring in East Head football coach John Dahlstrand now. Coach, when Cathedral Prep has the football, what kind of things can we expect?
Well, Cathedral Prep, as most people know, is a meat and potatoes type of football team. They're gonna run the ball off tackle. They're gonna sweep. They're gonna run the toss. They're gonna run the option. They will throw the ball if need be. Becky is capable of throwing the ball quite well. Defensively, I think CW West Bucks are going to have to shut down the running game, obviously, with Mark Tate almost 2,000 yards, and they're also going to have to shut down the power game. Now, they run a 3-4, which is a nose guard and 2 tackles and 4 linebackers and 4 defensive backs, and they blitz linebackers, and I don't think they're going to be able to blitz linebackers as much against Cathedral Prep. Because once Mark Tate gets to the second level, they'll be in trouble.
Yeah, Coach, who do you think the weather conditions favor? We talked a little bit about, and we watched some tape of Central Bucks West against Easton, and it appears that they're going to try and put the ball up in the air. They got a great quarterback in Moylan. How about the things offensively that they're going to try and do in this type of weather? Is that going to hurt them?
I think in this type of weather, like you said, the team that doesn't throw the ball that much is going to have the advantage. The kid from Central Bucks West, he gets the ball. He can throw the ball quite well, but we talked about earlier, I think he lofts the ball up, and it'll enable the defensive backs from Cathedral Prep to get under the ball. So I think the team that can grind it out, the weather might turn for the worse. As you look up in the sky, it looks like we could possibly get some rain, blowing conditions, and you're going to have to keep the ball on the ground.
Michael, one thing I think we're going to have to look for, Cathedral Prep's going to come out offensively, and they're going to go right at Central Bucks West. So offensively, that's what to look for Prep, and defensively, it's going to be a great defensive football game, and the old cliche goes, defense wins championships.
Brian, we heard a lot about this CW West team, and last week how there were more than 16,000 fans at the game. Today, it doesn't look like their fans are going to be any problem for us, does it?
No, I really don't think so. This is a big stadium. There's a lot of room here. The Cathedral Prep fans have come down in surprisingly big numbers, it seems to me. They've got a big cheering section. Central Bucks West, we saw the people at the hotel last night. A lot of people excited about this football game, and I don't think the crowd is going to be much of a factor for either team.
Brian Duffy, John Dahlstrand, thank you. I know you'll be joining me shortly in the booth, but for now, we will continue with Cathedral Prep pregame and send it back to the studio with our own John Evans. John?
Thank you very much, Mike, and we'll be hearing from you guys shortly again from Altoona as the ball game is set to begin in just a few moments. When Countdown to Kickoff continues, we'll have a look at some of the other key players to watch for the Ramblers and some comments from the strong Vincent Colonels who face Conestoga Valley for the AAA championship today.
At the First National Bank of Pennsylvania, we're working hard to keep you, our customer, first.
We're dedicated to helping you achieve financial success
with the finest banking services available. Whatever your needs, our aim is to provide a level of
quality and service that is second to none. In every transaction, large or small,
In every service, whether it be checking, savings, trust, or lending, our goal is simple: customer satisfaction.
Are you ready to rock?
Get ready for our biggest Monday night season ever. This year we have a blockbuster schedule.
Each week we'll see the league's top teams in classic rivalries.
So join us right here for the NFL's premier showcase, ABC's Monday Night Football, followed by Northwestern Pennsylvania's #1 newscast, Action News 24.
It's the game of the week. It's coming your way. It's Monday Night Football, and it's time to play.
When you were growing up and people, kids asked you, well, what does your daddy do? I mean, how'd you answer that?
Well, Daddy flies to the moon.
On the next Geraldo, what's it like when Dad's an astronaut, a famous crooner, a movie star, or the world's favorite cowboy?
I never brought my boyfriends over to the house. I was too afraid of my father.
Growing up behind the scenes while Daddy's in the spotlight. Daughters of superstar dads, next Geraldo.
Watch Geraldo Monday at 4 on TV 24.
Welcome back to Countdown to Kickoff. Earlier in the show, we featured Prep's outstanding senior Mark Tate. And now, a look at some of the other Prep stars you should keep an eye on this afternoon as they see action against Central Bucks West. This year's Prep football squad has captured the attention of area fans for their solid play and never-say-die attitude. Tailback Mark Tate has garnered most of the headlines, but this is a team full of great players. Junior quarterback Harry Isbicki has truly become a team leader this year. He started training camp as the third-string signal caller, but he was quickly moved into the starting role.
Well, I've done a lot of work. I did a lot of work this past summer on ball handling and passing and my footwork. And coming into to camp this year, we had three good quarterbacks, myself, Chris Pushkar, and Eric Orlando, and the job was pretty much up for grabs. And I'm really not sure why Coach George chose me, but I'm glad he did.
On the season, Isbicki has thrown for over 1,000 yards for 7 touchdowns and just 8 interceptions. One of his main targets is senior tight end Pat McMahon.
We came into the season with great potential. Everyone in the off-season prepared well. We came off a great year last year.
On defense, Prep's cornerback Chris Pushkar has grabbed 4 interceptions, 21 solo tackles, and he also leads the team in punt returns. Pushkar says he doesn't expect a high-scoring game today.
It's probably going to, I think, a low-scoring game because they're supposed to have a good defense, too. They have 5 shutouts this year, and we have 6, so I think it should be a pretty low-scoring game.
And Shaun Coleman is another two-way player for Prep, playing safety and flanker as well. He says the team's success is just a result of their dedication.
I get a lot of support from the seniors and the rest of the defense, offensive players. It's a lot of hard work, tired at times, but just have to suck it up and just go for it.
Near Scranton this afternoon, Erie's other state finalist football squad, the Colonels of Strong Vincent, will meet Conestoga Valley for the AAA championship. Before this season, no Colonel team had ever won more than 10 games. This year, they've already built up a 14-1 overall mark, the only loss coming against Cathedral Prep. Vincent coach Joe Buffalino feels that Conestoga Valley may be taking his team a bit too lightly in this showdown between the East and West.
I get the feeling that they don't think we belong in the same field with them. I think that's something you never want to do. You never want to fire up your opponent. That's something that we work at. We really work at respecting our opponent and welcoming the challenge. Maybe they've done us a favor.
Well, coming here in August, we knew if we put the hard work and dedication, we had the players to go this far. And yeah, sure, we thought as far as our ability could take us. Actually, the state championship game was seemed, something that we had to really work for and reach for. But we're here, so we worked real hard, and I think we deserve it. And yeah, I think we did think we can get this far, actually.
Defensively, it's nothing we haven't seen. I guess they run a front like Franklin did against earlier during the season, so we shouldn't have too much of a problem with that. And I'm sure with the offense, our coach, the wing T, the way the coach has prepared us all year long, we'll be able to go in there and hopefully get some yardage on this team.
Strong Vincent coming off a dramatic 27-26 victory against Blackhawk in last week's AAA Western Final. They have 3 impressive running backs on their squad, including Tim Romansky and Tony Roby, who have each rushed for over 1,000 yards, and Quentin Orlando, who is just less than 40 yards away from the 1,000-point mark himself. Their opponent today, Conestoga Valley, is 13-1. They feature a high-scoring, no-huddle offense. We'll be keeping you updated on the progress of the Colonels during our Prep broadcast today. Well, the city of Erie has truly gotten behind both Prep and Strong Vincent this season, and that was illustrated this week by a huge send-off rally in downtown Erie on Thursday evening. Mayor Joyce Savacchio led the delegation of players from the Ramblers and the Colonels onto the gazebo at Perry Square for this citywide pep rally, and the enthusiasm was running high. The mayor was presented with a hat by Strong Vincent officials and also a T-shirt by the Ramblers. And several speakers stepped up to the microphone, including yours truly, who had a few words to say to the folks. But certainly I wasn't the star of the program. The guy who really stole the show on this Thursday night with all of his enthusiasm after the mayor spoke and several other dignitaries at the rally was the Times sports editor, Kevin Cuneo. And we're going to bring you a small portion of what he had to say to the crowd Thursday night.
They've already become a part of the history of Erie, because 20, 30, 40, 50 years from now, when these players are grandfathers, they'll look back and they'll grab that newspaper headline and say, I was part of this, I was part of that championship year of 1991. And I want to be there to write that headline that says Strong Vincent and Cathedral Prep are the 91 state football champs.
And hopefully we'll see that headline tomorrow morning. When Countdown to Kickoff returns, we'll have a special look at the tradition of athletics at Cathedral Prep.
been to Farmer Mac's? Come on in, I'll show you around. Farmer Mac's is known for lawn and garden supplies, but you know, we sell a lot of other things too. Over here we have all kinds of freezing and canning supplies, jars and containers, and a lot of people, if you like deer sausage, make deer sausage with this. If you're looking for a bird feeder, we've probably got one that'll suit your taste.
Watch for Farmer Mac's video tour number 46 featuring dog collars and expert advice.
Is what we treat best. Hammett Sports Medicine. Let the games begin.
Rico Lincoln Mercury at 54th and Peach invites you to our 92 Winter Circle. A full line of new 92 Lincolns and Mercurys, all special price for your holiday budget. Ultimate luxury is yours in this new 92 Lincoln Continental fully loaded for just $469 a month with no money down for a short 36 months. Or this exciting new 92 Topaz also fully loaded for just $185 a month for only 24 months with no money down. Remember, no money down, only 24 or 36 months and the lowest payments ever. Only at Lou Perico Motors. Lou, what a guy.
In recent years, Cathedral Prep has won 7 straight Metro League football championships and 6 District 10 titles. But the winning tradition is nothing new at this downtown Erie school, as you'll see in this report.
The Ramblers of Cathedral Prep are enjoying their best football season in school history, and they're going after the school's first ever Gridiron State Championship. But the Ramblers have enjoyed a long and storied tradition in athletics. They started to field a football team back in 1928, and over the years they've had many great coaches. Walt Strasser was Prep's head football coach from 1946 until 1957. During those years, he ran up a string of 5 straight Metro League championships.
I think that probably it caught the other schools a little bit unawares. They had been used to Prep being a doormat, and I think they just couldn't quite assimilate the idea for a while. Of course, it didn't take long, though, before everybody was rooting against us. We were like the old Yankees. Everybody, if Prep was playing any school in the city, most of the other schools were rooting for the other team rather than Prep.
Strasser says that success didn't come easy for his teams during that era.
We were extremely fortunate, I thought, in the long run. We had a group of kids who would just do whatever you wanted and give it 110% effort. And this is something that you can't buy. And so I feel, frankly, that I was in the right place at the right time. And I admit freely that we had to, in the first few years, we had to be practically cheerleaders because at that time Prep was the floor mat of the city in athletics.
Strasser has been inducted as a member of the Greater Erie chapter of the Pennsylvania Sports Hall of Fame, and he's well respected by his former players.
Well, it's kind of the kids to do that for the old boy, but as I say, I felt good kids who were obedient. The one thing I didn't want to do, though, along those lines that you mentioned, when a kid would get an opportunity to go to, say, 3 or 4 different schools, when he would ask me about where he should go, I would tell him point blank that I wasn't going to advise him on it. I just simply told him, I said, college education from a smaller school may do you in just as good a stead as one from Notre Dame or Southern Cal and that kind of thing. But aside from that, I didn't believe in trying to dictate to the kid where to go to school for the simple reason that if he runs into problems, you're going to be the fall guy. I want the kid to make his own decision and live with it. And it worked. I never had a single situation where a kid came back and cried the blues.
For Ron Sertz, who has been Prep's director of athletics since 1983, building Prep's sports reputation has been a main priority.
I think we try to approach all of our athletics the same way that we approach our academic programs, and that is just to present our students with the best quality programs that we can. I think we approach athletics with that same kind of philosophy. We want to give our kids the best opportunities and the best people to guide them, and we think the results will tell.
Minna George is now the winningest coach in Prep football history. and he's quick to give credit to his predecessors, including Walt Strasser. George has dedicated this season to assistant coach Jack Henning, who passed away earlier this year.
He was like a second father to me, number one, and taught me everything I know, not only about football, but with dealing with kids and how to go into certain situations. And, you know, there's many times I still try to figure out what he would do in situations. Yeah, I owe a great deal of what I've done, I think, to Jack, as well as Joe Moore and Billy Braben. But, you know, Jack, again, you know, taught me more about football, and, you know, I miss him a great deal, and it's hard to talk about him at times. And, you know, I really miss not having him here to enjoy the success that we're having, because without him being there when I need him early, I would never be here right now. So, and I better mention my dad, too. You know, he's the one that kicks me in a fanny every time I do something wrong. So those four people probably helped me more in football than anybody.
George has been the head coach at Prep since 1980. He's racked up 110 victories to go with only 22 losses and 2 ties. He particularly remembers a game in 1982 when they played under some unusual conditions.
We were 9-0 at the time, going in to play McDowell, and we had been unscored upon in the Metro League that year, and all of a sudden, you know, the game was fine. We're getting ready to go, and it's 20-8 at the time. We played at 8 o'clock, and the next thing you know, snow started coming down lightly, and by game time, I think we had 8 to 10 inches of snow on the ground. And I know one of the most memorable times was when Naz Servideo was on a 4th and goal, and a 4th and a short, and he didn't know if it was 1st down or 4th down, and didn't know what decision to make. And we had about a 15-20 minute holdup, and John Christensen came out and asked, you know, "Damon, just 4th down, just punt." And I think I did make a comment to John that I won't make over the air, and so I just told Naz, "Make a decision, Naz. Let's get going. You know, it's dragging out." But you know, it was a fantastic ball game. I think a big running back from McDowell, Buchnowski, scored a touchdown against us, and we ended up winning 13-6, and that was the first undefeated season we had in probably about 30 years of Prep. But it was a great ball game.
Our live coverage from Altoona right around the corner. I'm John Evans. I'll see you again at halftime. Enjoy the Quad A State Championships, everybody.
Milk, you know what I mean. 59, 99, run for the border with me.
The following is a special presentation. The following is a special presentation of JET-TV Action Sports. The PIAA Quad A State Football Championship game between the Cathedral Prep Ramblers and Central Bucks West. Today's live telecast from Altoona is being brought to you by the First National Bank of Pennsylvania, keeping you first.
It means a lot to our team and our school to be playing for a state championship, because this is something that we've always wanted to do, and we just want to make the best of the opportunity.
Well, you know, this is a dream that I've always been dreaming since I've been a little kid. Like I said, now it's a reality for us and the whole team.
Central Bucks is a very well-coached team. Obviously, to be number 4 in the nation and be competing at the state championship level, they have to be a very good team.
I think keep their offense off the field, number one. If we can control tempo, I think that's the most important thing. They're a high explosive team. They got a great kick returner, so we have to be careful there. Special teams can't come down. We've worked very hard on that, and we're doing a better job. I think if stay away from turnovers and not give them the big play. And
another key would be whoever has the most heart, whoever can wear the other team out, because if we play with a lot of emotion, we can just drain them from the game.
Mentally, I've been thinking in my mind, you know, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I'm going to go out and do whatever I can, and it doesn't matter if I get hurt or not, because the way I see it is that I have the rest of my life to heal.
We're going to come at them. There's no question. We're a power football team. That's the way I was taught. I played in the mid-'60s over at East High School, and we played hard-nosed, bang-out football. So on offense, we're going to go after them. Hit, physical. We try to physically dominate the other team.
Oh yeah, I'm ready to play more than any other football game ever in my life. I mean, this is the biggest game I've been involved in, and mentally and physically I think I'm prepared.
Yes, I'm very ready. I feel real good about myself and the team.
Yeah, I'm ready to play this game. I think I'm ready as I've ever been for anything.
Yeah, I'm ready more than I've ever been. You know, this is probably the biggest game of my life.
Yes, I'm ready to play this game.
Definitely. You know, I've been thinking about it all week. I've been having butterflies in my stomach. And, you know, the feeling of nervousness, anxiety.
The biggest thing I think we'll say right then is, number one, remember in your heart that you're playing for a championship. That you've been here all year. You've got great heart. You've got great character. And as Ricky DeBacco tells everybody, you know, Rocky 5, he just tells you, Mickey loves you, so we're going to go give it our best. We've got the heart, and that's what made Rocky strong. And Cathedral Prep football makes us strong as we've got heart.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome live to Mansion Park in Altoona, Pennsylvania, where today the Cathedral Prep Ramblers, led by head coach Minna George with a record of 14-0, will take on Central Bucks West at 13-0. Hello again, everyone. I'm Mike Gallagher, along with Brian Duffy and John Dahlstrand, who will be joining me throughout the telecast. We will bring the action to you as it happens. Gentlemen, we are moments away from kickoff. Opening observations.
Mike, I think the big thing we've got to watch for in this game is going to be the weather. We were down on the field before the game, Coach Dahlstrand and myself, and the wind is absolutely unbelievable, and that's going to be the big thing for Central Bucks West. They are a passing team. They've got a Division I quarterback, and that could cause some problems for them offensively. What's going to cause some problems for Cathedral Prep is the type of formations and the type of sets that Central Bucks West is going to come out in. Coach, I know we watched some films of Central Bucks West, and absolutely incredible the types of formations and sets they're going to come up with offensively.
Yes, we looked at them yesterday on tape, and they do a lot of things, like you said, to create deception. Basically, they're running basic plays, but they'll move people all around. They'll flip-flop the offensive linemen. They'll run different sets, and sometimes they'll just run a straight dive. Sometimes they'll run an unbalanced line and come back with the trap backside. I mean, it's just a big deception thing, and I think with Prep, if they're not ready to just come out here and knock heads, I think they're going to be in trouble.
And I think one thing we need to keep in mind, just 2 weeks ago, the Ramblers were here playing in a football game on AstroTurf, the OmniTurf, as I'm told it's called, whereas CB West has not played on AstroTurf, as you look at Mark Tate, the man that could be the key.
And he's going to be a big key for the Prep offense. Coach Minna George wants Mark Tate to get the football, and he told us before the game that they're going to come right at him offensively to start this football game. So watch Tate to get the football quite a bit right from the opening kick.
And we will be back to get ready for the opening kickoff after this.
From all of us at the First, we wish you the happiest of holiday seasons and a prosperous new year.
Treat your car to a Christmas cleaning at Rapp Auto Body's new location on Upper Peach Street. Drive in for a wash or leave your car for a wax while you shop at the mall. If your car needs more than a wash, Rapp Auto Body will make it right. No matter how extensive the damage, and estimates are free. For tender-loving car care, visit the new location of Rapp Auto Body at 5618 Peach Street, right across from Noblo Olds Toyota Park.
Move up to Cadillac with no down payment. Now you can lease a sedan DeVille for only $499 a month with no down payment and enjoy anti-lock brakes, leather seating areas, and the largest interior of any front drive luxury car. And at $499 a month with no down payment, leasing a sedan DeVille isn't just a luxurious move, it's an intelligent one.
So hurry in to Roth Cadillac in Erie, the world's oldest Cadillac dealership.
Jet FM 102, Erie tradition. 40 years of rock and roll.
The people.
For 40
40 years, there's been only one Erie radio station where the hits have been made. Play and stay. The tradition carries on. Jet FM 102.
You are looking live at the coin toss that just took place between the Ramblers and the Bucks of CB West, and the Bucks won the toss, deferring to the Prep Ramblers, possibly because of the wind that may play a factor in this game.
I think that had a lot to do with it, and I think Prep wanted the football, though, to start this football game. They want to set the tone offensively. They want to pound with Mark Tate. And, Coach, what kind of strategy is you as a football coach, how do you like to see it? Would you like to get the football first, or would you rather send your defense out?
Well, I think in a game like this, to get the football first might be to your advantage. If Prep can take the ball and start dominating on the line of scrimmage and banging it down their throat with the things they do best, I think that's going to take a little wind out of the sails of Central Bucks West, and I think it'll be to their advantage.
The captains for today's ball game for CB West, Ryan Moore, Dave Binder, and quarterback Greg Moylan. Meanwhile, for the Prep Ramblers, the captains Mark Tate, Chris Feeney, Paul Schaff, and Pat McMahon. We're set for the opening kickoff. Back to receive for the Cathedral Prep Ramblers. Two men set up back on about the 2-yard line, and it's going to be Dorian Hager and Chantel Hilliard.
Look for a short kick here, Mike. He's kicking into the wind, and we watched him on tape a couple of times. He doesn't have a great leg, so Prep might get good field position to start out.
And kicking off is John Patterson, and it's taken up over the middle by the Ramblers, and he's stuck hard at about the 23-yard line. And with the hit was Chris Fassbender, someone who we expect to see a lot of action from for the Bucks. Coming out on offense will be the Cathedral Prep Ramblers here at Altoona High School Stadium, a beautiful facility, beautiful Omni AstroTurf. They played here 2 weeks ago, were successful, and the Ramblers are hoping for the same as they come up for the first snap from scrimmage. Isbicki will be the quarterback. Mark Tate is lined up behind him in the backfield. We've got 1st and 10. The give us to Tate off the right side. Not a whole lot, but does pound through for a yard or two. Dave Binder on the stop for the Bucks.
Well, that's what we expect the Cathedral Prep to come out and do, and they'll probably do it again on the next play. The thing to watch defensively for Central Bucks West is their backers, especially their 2 inside guys. Number 43, Fassbender, will shoot quite a bit, so watch for that, and then watch for Sweat filling in the holes.
Murphy and Tate out of the eye. It's the Tate on the right side. Gets a good yardage out across the 30 to about the 32. He'll be shy of the first down, however. Williamson on the stop for CB West.
Brian, you were talking about the linebackers. I noticed that time we saw the Easton game yesterday, and 43 went every play. Right now, they're both in a read. They're both reading. They're not blitzing. Now, it's a little bit of adjustment from what we saw against Easton.
And I think that's because Prep has the ability to throw the football. Easton did not.
The give straight up the middle.
Well, that's what we were just talking about. Now, they moved from a 3-4. They had a 6-man front, 1 linebacker, and Tate broke to the second level, and he just made about 5-6 yards.
And I think Cathedral Prep has done exactly what they wanted to do to start this football game. They got a first down, they got field position, and that's going to be very important with the weather conditions.
The ball just shy of the 40-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Ramblers. That was Cleland on the last stop. The pitch again to who else but Mark Tate off the right side. Powers his way and gets out across the 45. We'll call it the 46-yard line. Fassbender with the stop from his linebacking position. Again, overcast skies here. Temperature just under 50 degrees. We expect the temperature to plummet as the afternoon continues, with winds picking up, again possibly exceeding gusts of more than 50 miles per hour, which could help the Ramblers down the road because of the passing attack of CB West. But again, the Ramblers with the ball with a 2nd down and just over 5. We have movement on the line.
All kinds of movement. They could get in anybody with this one. Central Bucks West whole defensive front was moving. Then Prep's guys were moving. It just depends on the officials' judgment.
I think we're going to see Central Bucks West shifting their people around. We already saw a drastic change from yesterday on the films. It looks to be like they're in a 6-3. And they just changed, and they shifted one of the linebackers right before the ball. That's the point of confusion there. We had the offside penalty and went to like a 7-man front.
Well, we talked a little bit how they're going to try and confuse Prep offensively, but they do try and do the same thing defensively, and I don't think that's going to affect Prep at this point. Prep is going to line up, and they're going to come at you balanced on both sides of the ball, use some unbalanced, and they're going to say, hey, you can play any defense you want, you have to stop it.
Second down and inches out of the eye for the Ramblers. Isbicki up under center, goes with the pitch to Tate on the outside, cuts back, gets across, gets a first down and more as he gets close to the CB West 45-yard line. DeLuca comes up and makes the stop. Good move by Tate to work back against the grain when he absolutely had nothing to go to the right.
That was all second effort by Mark Tate. They had him for about a yard loss. Tate used his shiftiness a little bit, got free, and got the first down. And Prep's going to do the same thing. They're not going to stop until Central Bucks West proves that they're going to be able to stop this run to the right, and they haven't proved that they can do it yet.
Thus far, Tate with 5 carries for 25 yards. So exactly what we're expecting them to do.
I think you're going to see Tate cut back more, especially on the turf. The play before this, when he gained a couple of yards, he cut back across the grain, and he does that real well. And if they over pursue to the ball, they're going to be in trouble with him cutting back.
Ryan Moore with good pursuit on that play stops Tate. In fact, he may have just picked up about a half yard. In fact, he may have even lost an inch or two on that play. So that'll bring up about a second down and 10 for the Ramblers. Call the ball at the 46-yard line of CB West. Harry Isbicki, the quarterback. They are at the far hash, and they'll go out of the I formation again. Tate in the backfield, the draw to Tate up the middle, slips, keeps his feet, and picks up maybe a yard, gets to the 45. Cleland comes up to make the stop.
Tate doesn't slip. He's got at least 10 more, and probably a first down out of the backfield. Looked good hole there for the Prep Ramblers. The footing there hurt Prep a little bit.
I think exactly what you said, Brian. I think that draw opened up perfect. I think if he wouldn't have been so excited and the field wouldn't have been a little damp, I think he could have gained about 10, 15 yards on that play.
So we have third down, and we'll call it 9. No score yet. 8:57 remaining first quarter, and a movement on the right side. Looks like Feeney may have pulled. We do have an update from the AAA championship game. Conestoga has taken a 6-0 lead over the strong Vincent Colonels. We will keep you updated on the progress of that game, but the call will go against the Ramblers, so they'll back them up 5 more yards, and we're looking at a third and about 14.
This is our real first passing situation that Prep has been in, Coach, and what can we look for here?
Well, Isbicki, like I said, down on the field, Isbicki's thrown for about 1,050-some yards, and he's capable of throwing the ball. They just haven't needed to do it. And I think you're going to see him in a situation like this. He's going to be totally at ease, and he's going to throw the ball.
Again, out of the I formation is Isbicki, long count. The give around the right side on the reverse. And DeLuca with the stop. And it was Dorian Hager with the ball for the Ramblers. That's going to bring up a fourth down. Jim Sitter will come on to do the punting for the Cathedral Prep Ramblers. Back to receive the man they like to call the flea. Hopefully we won't find out why for CB West. And Sonsini is certainly quite a back. Matt Sonsini, who was an All-State candidate back as a junior.
Still a good drive for Prep. They got field position. They're not going to like what they're going to get on this punt because they get into the end zone, so they only gain about 20 or 30 yards. But they prove they can move the football, and that's got to give them some good hope for the rest of this football game.
But a beautiful punt for Sitter. Unfortunately, it carries into the end zone, and that will give CB West a 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line. The first time we've seen them with the football. And it's going to be interesting to see how well things work. Taking a look at their offense, Moylan will be the quarterback, Cleland and Binder in the backfield. Again, Matt Sonsini will run from split end. We'll see him at wingback. We'll see him at the slot. And on the AstroTurf, he's very, very fast, although he's just 5'6", 150 pounds. They're going out of the I formation. And the give is deep in the backfield to Cleland. Cleland tries getting out right side and manages to fight for 2, maybe 3 yards on the carry. That will bring up a second down.
Probably a throwing situation for CB West, and the wind might not affect them at this point right now because they are going with the wind. They're going right to left as we look at it. So the wind may not be a factor in the first quarter for Central Bucks West. We'll just have to see how it goes.
Schaff on the stop for the Ramblers. Call it 2nd down and 7. Ball at the 23. 7:28 remaining first quarter. No score. Again, this is just the first possession for CB West offensively. Again, out of the eye. Man split to the near side of the field and a slot back. Long count. The give is to the fullback straight up the middle, and he gets good yardage, works forward, and picks up the first down. Tate comes up to make the stop, and it was Binder on the carry.
I think you're going to look at CB West. I think they're going to try to fill Prep out here and just come right at them, just like Prep did, and see what they can get. The fullback, they have a totally balanced offense. The quarterback threw for about 1,400 yards, and each of the three, wingback, fullback, and tailback, each have about 500 yards.
Now we have, I guess you'd call it twins to the right. We're starting to get into some of their different formations. They'll bring a man in motion to the near side of the field. Split backs. The give is to Binder again, the fullback, and he muscles his way out near the 40-yard line. That'll be a second down and roughly 5 yards. On the stop was Schaaf for the Ramblers.
Well, Binder's not usually the guy they look for in these types of situations. When we've seen Central Bucks West, they don't really look at him. They look at their two other guys. So maybe Prep a little bit surprised early on that Binder's carrying the football. I think right now he's more of a short yardage type of situation guy. He's going to be the guy they're going to call on around the goal line to get the ball into the end zone.
Second down and 5. Ball at the 39-yard line of CB West. They are moving, and we see our first pass of the day as Moylan rolls left in trouble, and he is nearly brought down, but now escapes and gets back out to the right side. Perez can't make the stop. He tries diving for the first down, and initially it was Perez who finally did trip him up with actually good pursuit to keep him from picking up the first down.
I think right now CB West, it's a pretty big battle on the front of the line there, and I think right now you're seeing CB West getting a slight edge and winning that battle.
And an update from the AAA state championship game. Our Strong Vincent Colonels have gone up by the score of 7-6 in the first quarter. Again, we are here in the first quarter. 5:27 to play. CB West with the ball. They give straight up the middle to the big man again, and he powers his way forward for the first down out across the 45 to the 47. It was Binder on the carry, and Pilatos makes the stop for the Ramblers.
Well, that's not a good sign. When your guy that's playing in your interior defensive line is making a stop 5 yards past the line of scrimmage, that means he's getting knocked off the ball. And that, at this point, is not a good sign for Prep, because it looks like their defensive line might be getting knocked back a little bit.
Ball at the 47-yard line. First down and 10 for the Bucks of CB West. Out of the I formation. Moylan is the quarterback. Brings a man in motion. And it is Cleveland coming in motion. The give this time is to the tailback. And that is Sonsini, the speedster, who gets out across the 50 down near the 47-yard line before he's wrestled down by safety Mark Tate.
I think the emotions now are gone out of the football game. I don't think it's an emotional thing. They've played, 8 minutes now, and I think they're down to playing football. They're down to cracking some heads, and the pregame jits are probably history, and we're going to see a good football game, it looks, at this point.
Gentlemen, do we look back to the last 2 weeks where the Ramblers were down 10-0 2 weeks ago and 14-0 last week in the first quarter? Has it become a stigma that first quarters are tough for the Ramblers?
Well, I think Cathedral Prep at this point, I wouldn't worry too much about Cathedral Prep. Like you said, they've been down the last 2 weeks. Against State College, they were down by 10. Last week against Connellsville, they were down 14-0, and they came back. Whether it's just they need to get the cobwebs out, like he said, the jitters are out, and they just seem like they're kind of flat here while they're getting a little drive going.
That was Cleveland on the carry, picks up a first down, gets to the Rambler 38-yard line, so we'll call it 1st and 10 at Prep's 38. And CB West moving the ball and moving it effectively. So far, all of their gains have come on the grounds. We've only seen one pass attempt, and Moylan ended up keeping that one. The give straight up the middle, and Feeney is there for the stop. And again, they were going to the fullback Binder. We're seeing them go to him quite a bit.
Yeah, I think what was really important on that play is they put a lick on the quarterback, and that's going to be very important. They're letting him know that Moylan, that the Prep's defense is not going to let him run that mini option that they ran that play and not get away without getting smacked. Moylan got put down hard on the turf, and sometimes that puts something in the back of your mind.
Binder 4 carries for 23 yards to this point in the ball game, and Moylan will roll left, wants the throw, has time, lays it up in the air deep downfield, and has Martin, but can't complete it. A nice pass by Moylan. Pliskar there to try and break it up.
Flat out dropped is the best way you can call that. We'll take another look at it. We watched Moylan on the films, and he's going to put some air underneath the football when he throws it long, isn't he?
We were just talking about that before the game, and you'll see it right here. I mean, he threw the ball about 40 yards, but he gave the defensive back a little time to be under. It was a perfectly thrown ball. He should have caught it and scored.
He's their best receiver, too. Fitzmartin leads the team with about a 21-yard average per catch, and I don't think they're used to seeing him drop many like that.
And it is now 3rd down and 10. Ball at Prep's 38. 3:20 remaining first quarter. 3 setbacks. Now the motion. They'll go with a single setback. Twins to the near side. Split wide as Moylan rolls left. Looks for the little out. And he completes it to Cleland, but not for much gain because Liebel is there to stop it. In fact, for a slight loss on the play, and the Ramblers managed to stop CB West.
That's a big stop, too, because Cathedral Prep came out, moved the football a little bit, and then they got stopped. Now the psychological edge is back with both teams on the same field of play. Neither team at this point feels they have an advantage. Both football teams know they are in the football game, and this one has got the makings of a good one, doesn't it?
Certainly is shaping up that way. Again, no score with 2:45 to go first quarter. 4th down and 9. And back for the Ramblers is Dorian Hager, and Pliskar back there as well. And it's a high punt. Fair catch signaled for at the 8 and taken for the Ramblers by Dorian Hager just inside the 10. And we will take a timeout with our score. Prep 0, CB West 0. 2:30 to go in the first quarter. We'll be back after this.
Now through Saturday, it's the Arthur F. Schultz wall-to-wall clearance. 160,000 square feet. $4 million of brand-name living rooms, bedrooms, lazy-boy recliners, Sealy bedding, home electronics, and appliances at spectacular savings. Schultz has it. Extended credit terms are available with no interest and no payments. Plus, our convenient express delivery. Don't miss our wall-to-wall clearance. Now through Saturday at Arthur F. Schultz Superstore, 26th and Cascade in Erie.
Hi, I'm Professional Bowlers Association champion Ron Palombi Jr., inviting you to bowl in the Pro-Am and come see the greatest bowlers in the world when the Pro Bowlers Tour comes to your area. I'll be there, along with all the other stars of the tour, as we compete for the championship. So come on out and enjoy all the action when the PBA Tour comes to your town.
Join Eastway Lanes for the 1992 Flagship City Open.
We're back live at Mansion Park in Altoona, Pennsylvania, with no score between the Prep Ramblers and CB West in this, the PIAA Quad A State Championship game. The Ramblers backed up in their own end. They'll start at about the 9 with 1st down and 10. Harry Isbicki, the quarterback for the Ramblers. Mark Tate, the single setback. Split wide to the far side of the field is McMahon. The pitch goes to Tate, tries to get outside, now cuts back upfield. Nice move across the 15, 20, 30, and brought down at the 34-yard line. Coming up with the stop was Moore, and if Moore doesn't catch up to him, he could have been off to the races.
He's still going if Moore doesn't catch up to him. The big thing on that run is it gets field position back for Prep. They're buried back there at their 8-yard line. CB West got a good punt. Cathedral Prep didn't get the good punt. Mark Tate, just a fabulous runner. Penn State, big on him. They'd like to bring him to State College. We hear, though, Penn State with an abundance of tailbacks, so maybe Mark might be getting moved if he does head to State College.
To give straight up the middle, it's interesting you say that. The stop by Fassbender, the sports director at WJET-TV, the folks helping us out with our telecast, Paul Alexander, is our spotter in the booth, and prior to the game, I think all he talked about was Mark Tate is coming to Penn State, isn't he? What do we have to do to get him here?
He's got him all signed, sealed, and delivered, and hopefully he'll be in Happy Valley. We'd like to see him.
So Mark Tate just may be playing in his neighborhood for this state championship game, but we're with 2nd down and 8 ball at the 36, 1:41 remaining first quarter. Mike Gallagher along with Brian Duffy and John Dahlstrand out of the I formation. The Ramblers will go. Isbicki back to pass, looks out in the flat, has McMahon. McMahon spins out and is brought down at about the 41-yard line by Fitzmartin.
Well, Fitzmartin made a nice tackle. He made a much better tackle than he made a catch on their last offensive possession, dropping that sure touchdown pass. He makes up for it there. That's a great open field tackle on a good open field runner in McMahon.
So the Ramblers will be faced with a 3rd down and 3 with the ball at the 41-yard line.
I think you're going to see Prep continue with their usual game plan. Things are becoming more successful. They're getting more of the feel of the game, and I think you're going to see them just continue with what they always do.
With the eye out of the tight formation, and Tate barrels forward. Looks like he has enough for the 1st down. The first man to him was Williamson, but they will indicate 1st down, so the Ramblers will have it 1st and 10 at their own 44-yard line, and they are moving the ball with 50 seconds remaining for a score. Again, we have no score as Minute George starting to get into the game from the sideline.
That was a nice spot for the Ramblers, I think. I thought for sure we were going to have to bring the chains out on that one, but they gave it to him. Prep will take it, keeps the drive alive, and keeps the field possession battle in favor of Prep.
Again with a tight formation, out of the eye, the fullback Murphy. Tate, the tailback, is Bickey, drops it, picks it up, rolls left, a mix-up, broken play, and picks up a couple of yards.
What a heads-up play by Isbicki there. It could have been a big turnover. He just scooped the ball up and went to the left. It looked like it was going to be a toss to the right. Fumble and pick it up and just ran it to the left and picked up a few yards.
Isbicki has the ability to do that. You remember back in the District 10 championship game against Meadville, Prep scored their first touchdown on a play that Isbicki fumbled the snap from center, picked it up, and took it in himself. At that point, it was a 0-0 game, so it was a huge play. That's a big play, too. They get 4. Now they're looking at 2nd and 6 instead of 2nd and 13, or even having CB West have the football in great field position.
People talk about Mark Tate all the time, but Isbicki, he's got 351 yards rushing and 5 touchdowns.
So the first quarter comes to an end with the score, Prep 0, CB West 0. We will be back with 2nd quarter action live from Mansion Park after this break.
If you want to play like a pro, you've got to look like a pro. The Erie Sports Store specializes in custom team uniforms and equipment. We've been outfitting and servicing over 120 schools and colleges for the past 40 years, plus numerous Little League and recreational leagues. We offer competitive team and quantity discounts, plus the top-of-the-line brand names. Stop in and see any one of our pro staff employees in the team department. We know our sports, and we'll assist you in any way we can to look the part of a pro.
The magical season of Christmas is here, and so is the Perico holiday spirit of gifting. Now until Christmas Eve, every new Ford car and truck includes your choice of a beautiful Emerson 19-inch color TV with cable and remote, or an Emerson 4-head VCR with remote. And we'll beat any competitor's price, or we'll give you both gifts. A solid $600 value, absolutely free. There's never been a better deal. Now until Christmas Eve, we'll beat any competitor's price and include your gift. Happy holidays from Lou Perico Motors. Lou, what a guy.
We're back live in Mansion Park. Mike Gallagher along with Brian Duffy and John Dahlstrand. No score as we begin to start the 2nd quarter. 2nd down and 6. The ball at Prep's own 48-yard line. Take the single setback. Isbicki steps up under his center, Shapenko. This time the pitch goes out to Tate. Tate slips and falls. So he won't get anything on that pickup, and that'll leave the Ramblers with a 3rd down. We'll call it 6.
Got a few of Minute George's insights on that play. We could hear Coach in the background giving the business to a couple of his offensive linemen. I think Tate had some running room again. I think that's the 2nd time he's lost his footing. I don't know what type of shoes Prep's wearing on this turf. They are used to it, but the rain makes it a whole different thing.
When we were down the field, I noticed he had a new pair of turf shoes on. Whether I think he's just getting so excited that he's losing his footing before he gets the ball, I don't know.
And we have a flag on the play. Procedure against the Ramblers, so that will back them up 5 more yards, and we're looking at an apparent passing situation with a 3rd down.
Dead ball, illegal procedure, offense, 3rd down.
The referee of today's ball game makes the call, so it's 3rd down and 13, 11:28 remaining 2nd quarter. No score from Altoona, Pennsylvania. The wind picking up just a bit. Stiff breeze here, and the Ramblers with the ball. The fullback is Murphy. Isbicki the quarterback. Tate out of the eye. The fake pitch. Isbicki getting pressure rolling left, and it looks like he's going to be brought down from behind, and that will bring up a 4th down, and getting to him was Gordon to drop him for the loss, so the Ramblers will be forced to punt.
It appeared as Vicky didn't feel the heat coming from behind him. Didn't really have much time to throw on the rollout. They were looking for Tate on a quick out just around the first down marker. Nothing doing, though. Vicky didn't seem to sense that he had any pressure coming from his backside.
Well, like I said before, they're running the 3-4-4, but they have moved people around right now. Well, we're in a punting situation, but they had five. They appear to have a five-man front when they bring those two outside linebackers up.
Sitter's punt is fielded by Sonsini, and he's dropped immediately at the 24 by Shaun Coleman.
Great coverage,
Ramblers.
Fantastic. That guy is very dangerous in those type of situations. All-State as a junior. Ramblers down. A good punt by Sitter. Didn't get it up in the air as much as he probably wanted to, because he probably would have got a little help from the wind if he did get it up in the air. But still a nice effort and a great effort by the Prep special teams.
First quarter statistics, rushing, the Ramblers with 64 yards rushing, 5 yards passing, a total of 69 yards. CB West, 42 yards rushing, 1 passing for a total of 43. Leading rusher on the day, Mark Tate, 8 carries for 52 yards, 1 carry of 23 yards. Definitely the key to his performance thus far. And good coverage by the Ramblers to stop Moylan on that keeper, and Feeney was the first one through.
That was a super job by the front line of Prep, and that's a key. We didn't really talk too much about the offensive and defensive lines of both these teams. Both these teams are similar in size. They're both 215, 220 across the front. So it's going to be a big battle across the front. I think they're evenly matched, and right there, Prep won it hands down.
So Moylan will step up under center. The ball at the 24-yard line, 2nd down and 10. He brings Cleland in motion from the far side of the field, fakes to the fullback, rolls left, wants to throw, getting pressure, and he is hit hard by the Ramblers. Palatos, who comes in to make the stop, and a big play for Prep's defense.
Yeah, great pressure, especially on a rollout. Moylan trying to buy some time instead of being a straight drop-back passer. He'll most of the time roll to his left or the right. Surprisingly, he will roll to his left. He's a right-handed thrower, but he is so talented that he can go to his left, and that's a big play. Now they're in a 3rd and 14, 3rd and 15 situation, and that's awfully tough throwing into the wind.
So 3rd down and 15, ball at the 19-yard line. Moylan up under center, single setback, doesn't like what he sees, and takes the timeout. So with the score, 0-0, and 8:50 remaining in the first half, we'll take a break and be back with more after this.
From workman's comp to back injury, trust Reconstructive Orthopedic Surgery of Erie.
St. Vincent specialists performed the area's first balloon angio. Arteries in the leg can now be opened using
Corneal transplant at St. Vincent.
First hospital in the region treating disc problems with Chymopathy. It may be the smallest baby born in Erie this year.
Nerve deafness now being repaired with a new implant.
The area's first mobile MRI. New clot-dissolving drug now being used at St. Vincent.
Traveled 8,000 miles to St. Vincent to learn the new.
First lithotripter in northwestern Pennsylvania. One of a handful of hospitals in the world offering this level of electrical.
Whatever happens next, chances are you'll find it here first.
The Cathedral Prep Alumni Association recognizes the hard work and dedication of the Prep football team and their coaches. We congratulate the Ramblers for maintaining Prep's tradition of excellence.
Assist young people with their education. Help them enjoy interscholastic athletics by becoming a PIAA registered sports official. Call the PIAA at 1-800-382-1392 for details.
Welcome back live to Mansion Park, the home of Altoona High School, but today it's the Quad A PIAA State Championship between CWS and the Prep Ramblers. No score yet in the ball game. 3rd down and 15, ball on the 19, 8:50 remaining in the first half. Moylan up under center. The give is to Sonsini, who goes nowhere. Quickly on the stop is Feeney for the Prep Ramblers, so they will be forced to punt.
That was a big play for the Ramblers there. 3rd and long, they're going to get good field position here. Great play by Feeney.
Duff, we talked prior to the game about how confusing their offense could be, and you pointed out something from the videotape of the last game, how they were forced to use timeouts.
Yeah, they had to use all 3 of their timeouts in the Easton game before the end of the half. They didn't have any timeouts late when they were trying to get in late in the half, and it hurt them. And we thought we might see the same thing. They're just their kids seem to be confused at times offensively.
The punt is a low liner. The fair catch signaled for and taken by the Ramblers' Chris Pushkar. So the Ramblers with excellent field position at the 45. So we'll take a break with the score. Prep 0. Forget it. We will keep it here for the time being at least, with no score in the ball game. 8:07 remaining second quarter. First down and 10 for the Rambler offense. And great field position at CB West's 45-yard line.
Got to get something done here, I think. Good field position, going with the wind. Ramblers got to get some points here, and I think they can take a little bit of charge of the football game.
Is Bickey plenty of time over the middle? Almost picked off. There to break up the play was Cleland, but definitely not a perfect pass.
No, that was a rough one, and they've had the dropsies here, the Central Bucks West team. It's 2 balls they should have dropped. Watch, this one will hit Cleland right in a bad spot, right in the hands. He'll leave it on the ground. This is a guy that should have good hands, because if Moylan gets hurt, Cleland's going to be the guy that comes in and plays quarterback. So that's a surprising drop by him, and a surprisingly bad decision by Isbicki.
Isbicki was looking for Sitter on the reception, and it was in this very park where Sitter had an unbelievable catch 2 weeks ago, where he literally went up and took one away from the defensive back. Couldn't do it here, but they go to the drop play to Tate, and Tate loses a yard on the carry. He is stopped by DeLuca in the backfield. 7:48 remaining second quarter. The Ramblers 0, the Bucks 0 in this Quad A state championship football game. Head coach Minna George looking on. Along joining myself and Brian Duffy, John Dahlstrand, the head football coach at East High School. And Coach, has this game been everything you've expected to this point?
Absolutely. I think we're seeing a good battle up front. Right now, neither team's making much headway. And it's a good one. We have a fumble there.
A fumble with a flag down on the play. We'll see who comes up with it, and we'll see what the call is. And they are saying the Ramblers have possession, but now we'll see what the indication is from our officials. And it's going to be a legal motion against the Ramblers.
They'll decline that. It'll set up 4th down, and Prep will have to give it up.
So Sitter will come on to punt for the Ramblers. Wide receiver Jim Sitter, who also handles the punting, got a great punt off the first
penalty
quarter.
against the offense. Refused. 4th down.
So the 4th down, and the Ramblers forced the punt. That's disappointing considering the field position they started this drive with at the 45-yard line of CV West. Back to receive for the Bucks is Matt Sonsini, the man they call Flea because of his tremendous speed. He's 5'6", 150 pounds as a junior, an all-state wingback, and we have a timeout on the field taken by the Cathedral Prep Ramblers. Still, the Ramblers with nothing on the scoreboard. CWS 0, 7:09 remaining. We'll be back with more after
this. Edinburgh University of Pennsylvania.
And good afternoon and welcome to Sox Harrison Stadium.
And more.
Do you have a light menu?
We have several light burgers, each with just a fraction of the fat and calories. Which one would you like?
You call that a light menu?
Only one fast food restaurant offers a real choice of light food. It's Arby's new light menu, including 3 sandwiches under 300 calories and 94% fat-free. There's the lean, slow-roasted roast beef, turkey, and chicken with lettuce and tomatoes served on multi-grain buns. There is a difference in fast food. It's Arby's.
It's been a dogfight to this point in the first half with 7:09 remaining. Neither team able to put points on the board. Defense has been the story, and the Ramblers are set to punt it away. Sitter back for the Ramblers. Sonsini back to receive, standing on his 10-yard line for the Bucks. Sitter caught up in the wind. Not a great punt, but does get a Rambler bounce, and it will be down at about the 21-yard line, where CB West will take over. First down and 10, 7 minutes remaining second quarter. Still overcast skies. The wind's picking up, a very stiff breeze blowing right to left. And CB West is going right into it here in the second quarter. Moylan, the quarterback. His fullback is Binder. and Cleland in the backfield. This time the give is to Cleland, and he is met just past the line of scrimmage by Shaw along with Feeney.
Mike, before the game, we talked a little bit about how Prep was going to have to read and react to what Central Bucks West did after the ball was snapped and not before the ball was snapped, depending on what type of formation they're in. So far, they're doing a great job of that. CB West hasn't got off the big gainers that we've seen them get off in the past. Their passing game, maybe due a little bit to the wind, has been absolutely just shut down completely.
Yeah, I think one thing, I think the Ramblers are outplaying them on defense. The Ramblers are doing a better job at shutting them down. You look at the field position, the Ramblers, especially the second quarter, as I speak too soon, the Ramblers had them down inside the 20, 25-yard line, as you just saw a big dive up the middle by the fullback.
Well, that was Fastbinder, and he's in playing offense, and that's not something we've seen a whole lot. That's their inside backer. That's the guy they send on the blitz a lot. Haven't seen him do much offensively, but he had a nice run there.
Mark Fetzner in on the stop, and we have an injury down on the field. And coming off the field for the Cathedral Prep Ramblers will be Perez. And Rantis Perez looks like he just may have been shaken up a bit. Doesn't seem to be lifting the right arm. Could be a shoulder injury.
Yeah, the Prep better hope not, because Perez is a big key. He's the outside linebacker, and he does a super job for the Ramblers.
And he comes down hard on the right arm and the right shoulder. And that's the indication at this point. But right now, Moylan with the ball. He's only passed twice. He's 1 for 2, but this time he gives to Cleland. And he goes next to nowhere. Coming up on the stop for the Ramblers is Mark Fetzner. Mike Liebel also assisting on the tackle. It's going to bring up a second down. We'll call it 7 yards for CB West. 5:29 remaining first half. And at this point, still no score in the ball game. A great defensive struggle. As you see, the rainbow is out over the field, and hopefully there's a pot of gold at the end of it for the Ramblers. And gold, I mean state championship medals. First, they've got to get by CB West, and what a stick for the Ramblers. I believe it was Liebel coming up to make the hit.
That's the second real tough knock Moylan has taken, and he's going to be shaking his head after a little bit. The old brain cell's a little bit loose after that one.
And it was actually Pilatos who come up and made the hit for Cathedral Prep. The ball is now at the 42-yard line, 4:49 remaining second quarter. CB West with the ball. Moylan, we talked about his passing. Well, he's been ineffective in that category today. 1 for 2 for a total of 1 yard in passing. He steps up under center with a single setback. Has Sonsini split to the near side of the field. And on this 3rd and 4, he rolls right, sets up, and the ball is almost picked off by Tate as he tries to make the grab, unable to hang on to the ball. And Mark Fetzner there as well. And Sweat is unable to hang on to the ball. So that's going to bring up a 4th down and 4. And CB West will be forced to punt. Back to receive for the Ramblers will be Pushkar and Dorian Hager. They will set up on about the 30-yard line, their own 30.
Still enough time, I think, for Prep to get something done offensively in this half. Obviously, they're not going to be able to come out and put the ball up in the air with the wind like it is, but with 4:24 left, all their timeouts left in the way that Tate can break a big play at any moment, I think there's still enough time for Prep to get on the scoreboard and get a big advantage at halftime.
Fitzmartin standing on his 30 to punt it away. And it's a low punt that bounces at the 42. Does take a bounce, but then the wind pushes it back, and they'll down it at Prep's own 40-yard line, where the Ramblers will take over. First down and 10, 18 yards on the punt for Fitzmartin and CB West. As you see looking on, it is Mike Pettin for CB West, who has been nothing short of spectacular since 1967, a record of 228, 35, and 4. But on the other side, Minute George at 109, 22, and 2. So this is more than just a football game. It's a battle of fantastic programs as DeLuca makes the stop on Mark Tate.
I'll tell you what, Mike, Mark Tate has been a shoelace away a couple of times from breaking a big one, and the Ramblers are hoping, I bet they're going to go right back to him. They got plenty of time, 3:47 and counting, all their timeouts. There's no panic, there's no hurry. They're going to keep pounding away, and one of these times, Tate's going to break one of these.
Second down and 5, an update from the AAA game. Strong Vincent has just gone up on Conestoga Valley by the score of 15-14. So Strong Vincent with the lead in the AAA state championship game. Flizar makes the stop on the Ramblers here with 3:25 remaining second quarter. And it is going to be shy of the first down for the Ramblers.
I think we got to give this CB West defense a little credit here for bottlenecking Tate. As we've said earlier, I mean, Tate can go at any time, but they've kind of bottlenecked him down, except for a couple runs where he picked up 15 and 10 yards. He really hasn't done that much for him.
It gives straight up the middle to Murphy, and Murphy looks like he has enough for the first down as Fassbender comes up to make the stop, and the officials will check it out, and they do now signal first down for the Ramblers. Tate on the day, 13 carries for 58 yards, leading the way, the leading rusher for Cathedral Prep. In fact, for both clubs, we have now first down and 10, the ball at the 50-yard line. Out of the I formation, power I. It gives straight up the middle to the first man through, Dorian Hager, who breaks through nicely and gets out across to the 42-yard line. Flizzer is there to make the stop. That will be second down and short for Cathedral Prep.
Well, that's one of the benefits of having a guy like Mark Tate in your backfield. You give it to Tate, you give it to Tate, you give it to Tate, you pound, you pound, you pound, and then you give it to Hager while everyone's keying on Tate, and you get a big play.
Sitter split to the near side. The pitch goes around the right side, and he could break this one. He gets out across the 35, but it is enough for a first down. Fassbender on the stop. And Mark Tate with a nice pickup for the Ramblers, and the Ramblers are moving with 2:17 to go here in the first half. Still no score in the ball game, but they do have first and 10 at the 35, and with the wind the way it is, you definitely want to get all the points you can while you have the wind at your back.
I think they're going to be disappointed if they don't get something off this drive with the amount of time that's left in the way they're moving the football right now.
The pitch goes to Tate. He breaks a couple of tackles and gets out near another first down at the 25. Williamson finally brings him down. It looks like it'll be just shy of the first down. They'll spot it at about the 21-yard line. He needs to get to the 20 with 2:03 remaining in the second quarter. The Ramblers are driving. Still no score. We'll take a timeout and be back with the remainder of the first half after this.
From all of us at the First, we wish you the happiest of holiday seasons and a prosperous new year.
Cathedral Prep students are encouraged to strive for academic and athletic excellence. The more than 10,000 Prep alumni are proud of our coaching staff and championship football team. Good luck, Ramblers.
Interscholastic athletics are the other half of education. Support your local athletic programs with your attendance. Your teams need your support. Pack the place.
From arthritis to joint replacement, trust Reconstructive Orthopedic Surgery of Erie.
We're back live at Mansion Park. The Ramblers threatening to score with 2:03 remaining in the first half. The ball at about the 21-yard line. Second down, call it a short 2. To give us the Tate. He sidesteps one tackler, gets out across the 20, close to a first down. DeLuca there for the stop. We'll see where the spot is.
This drive's very important for the Ramblers. They got to come out of this with some kind of points. There hasn't been much movement at all by either of these offense, and this is the first you could probably call a small drive they've really had the whole game.
And as you look down the sideline of the Cathedral Prep Ramblers, again trying to get the first points on the scoreboard. 1:55 left to go in this first half. Neither team able to put it in the end zone. They're measuring for the first down. And it is close, and yes, they have got the first down, so it'll be first and 10 for Prep just inside the 25-yard line. So Minute George has the Ramblers moving as this first half winds down right at half. Our own Brian Duffy will talk to Minute George on the sideline. Here the pitch goes to Mark Tate. Tate gets out across the 24 before he's met hard by DeLuca and a host of CV West defenders.
Mike, this thing might come down to a field goal, and as I look at the prep statistics, I don't see them with any field goal attempts. I'm not sure I have their statistics. Their kicker, Brian Bauman, I don't even know if he's attempted a field goal yet this year. I know he has the leg, but we might end up seeing what's going to happen here.
Isbicki goes long for the end zone. It goes incomplete. He overthrows, and Cleland was back there to break it up for the for the Bucks rather. So that's going to bring up a 3rd down and a long 8. The ball at the 22-yard line of CV West. Isbicki waiting for the signal from Minna George. And on 3rd down conversions thus far, Prep is 3 out of 5. So the odds in their favor at this point. Sitter split to the near side of the field. Tate the deep man. The give on the reverse around the left side. And down to the 15-yard line goes Coleman. And he's brought down by DeLuca, and he'll be shy of the 1st down. That's going to bring up a 4th down and 1, and Minna's been known to go for it, and it looks like that's what he's going to do here.
I don't think you'll see Minna kick a field goal here, as you can see. He'll go for it.
Tate the deep man. The give is to Tate. Sidesteps, fights forward. The spot of the ball is going to be crucial.
That's going to be real close here, Mike. I don't know.
Minna George and the Ramblers seem to believe they have it, and the referee indicates that they do, so a good move by Minna George. And it is now 1st down and 10. 46 seconds remaining in the 1st half. The ball at the 14-yard line of CV West. Isbicki comes up under the eye. Sitter split to the near side of the field. Isbicki pitches wide to Mark Tate. Tate cuts back. Makes it out near the 10-yard line solely on 2nd effort. Gordon on the stop for CV West. Time running down, under 30 seconds remaining 1st half. They're not stopping the clock. Isbicki trying to get the Ramblers up under center. With Sitter split to the near side again out of the I formation. Fakes the pitch, rolls left, looking downfield, getting pressure, fires, and it is almost picked off, and Sitter makes a nice try, but it will go incomplete with 13 seconds remaining in the half, and the Ramblers faced with 3rd and 8. Flizzar there to break up the pass.
Be interesting to see what Minna does on this play. You got 3rd and about 8. So they're going to throw the ball. He ran the reverse last time on the play, and they picked up enough to get him close enough to get the 1st down.
And taking a timeout will be CV West. They don't like the situation either with 3rd and 8. The ball at the 12-yard line. The Ramblers threatening to score. Minna George goes out to talk to his quarterback and his troops on the field. 13 seconds remaining 1st half. 3rd down and 8. Ball at the 12-yard line. Ramblers trying to punch it in, and now it's desperation time. And definitely a very crucial down or 2 coming up here for Minna George and the Ramblers.
Absolutely. And I think, you know, we talked about Coach Patton's spectacular record, but we also have to talk about Minna. Minna's the most winning coach in Rambler history. He's over 80%. And if you look at both their schedules, being from the West, we're really not familiar with too many of their opponents, but we do know that some of Prep's opponents are the best teams in the country, and time again, they're beating these teams.
On stats for us today, Charlie Fisher, and again, as I said before, Paul Alexander, our spotter from WTAJ here in Altoona, but now the Ramblers getting set to go as CV West takes the field and trying to stop the Ramblers on 3rd and 8 with 13 seconds to go. In the 1st half, they'll go out of the I formation. They split Sitter to the far side of the field, McMahon to the near side of the field. The ball at the 12-yard line, dropping back to pass. Now the give on the draw to Mark Tate. Tate gets out across the 10, stays on his feet outside the 5, dives into the end zone, and he crosses the goal line for the touchdown. And the Ramblers have taken the lead with just 5 seconds to go in the 1st half of play by the score of 6-0. Tate lunging forward, making a super 2nd effort again to get the touchdown.
Absolutely. You hit it right on the head. His 2nd effort is what got him into the end zone. He was tied up on about the 5-yard line, and he just kept his feet banging, and he banged it in on the outside.
And here you see it again. Tate getting outside, great second effort, and manages to get all the way to the end zone, lunging forward. On the kick, Brian Bauman.
Blocked.
And it is blocked, so the score will remain 6-0. Bauman with trouble on that one, but the drive took 14 plays. It elapsed 60 yards, 4 minutes and 11 seconds, and it was capped off by a 12-yard touchdown run for Mark Tate. So a super time-consuming, well-planned out drive by the Ramblers here late in the first half to take the lead 6-0. But Bauman having the kick blocked, so it will stay that way with 5 seconds remaining. Bauman will kick it off for Cathedral Prep.
And in a game like this, that blocked extra point could come back and haunt him. It looks like it's going to be a close-scoring game, and you miss the one-pointer down the road, you might have to go for 2.
And an update, Conestoga now leading Strong Vincent in the second quarter by the score of 20-15. John Evans will be back at the studio at halftime and will update us on the situation from the AAA state championship game. Bauman gets set to kick off for the Ramblers with just 5 seconds remaining in the first half. 6-0 our score. The Ramblers with the lead in this, the PIAA Quad A state championship game. And back to receive, the man they like to call the flea for CB West, Sonsini. And Bauman kicks a squib kick, taken by one of the upbacks. He can't handle it, now picks it up, Binder, and he carries it forward out across the 35, and the first half comes to an end, and the Ramblers have the lead by the score of 6-0. Our Brian Duffy is down on the field trying to line up Minute George, and Minute George will wait for his team to come off the field. And to this point, they have been simply superb defensively and able to get some points on the board here late in the half on with just seconds remaining in the half. And Brian is now down with head coach Minute George. Duff.
Coach, you got to be extremely pleased to get the 6. I'm sure you wanted the extra point for 7, but you got to like the way the half ended.
Yeah, you know, we're happy. You know, we took a gamble. We haven't been throwing the ball for a while. The wind's floating it a little bit. So we went to gamble, we went to draw. We had one timeout left, and we were going for the field goal. Great run by Mark. The line did a great job, and we're going to make a few adjustments now coming up at halftime.
Yeah, you're moving the ball well with Tate rushing. You're probably going to stick with that, aren't you?
Yeah, we're going to try to stay with it. We got to get a couple of things. You know, we got to get back to the wishbone, run some options, but we're just missing somebody somewhere. We're going to straighten out at halftime, see if we can come out and stretch that field a little bit because they're coming hard on the right side for us. So make a few adjustments.
Okay, Coach. So far, so good.
Thank you.
So it's halftime here, Michael. 6-0. The Ramblers with a great drive at the end of the half to get those points, and that's got to give them the obvious emotional lift going into the half.
And we will see what happens second half. It's certainly been a great one thus far, but as you said, Duff, the Ramblers with the lead at halftime by the score of 6-0. We'll take a break, and then John Evans will be with you live from the studio, updating you on the AAA game and other news, and recap the highlights from this first half. Stay with us. A lot more exciting Quad A PIAA State Football Championship action to come after this.
Is what we treat best. Hammett Sports Medicine. Let the games begin.
This is Doug Thurston. Here are a couple of reasons why you're going to buy your next computer from the Clone Store.
Quality, value, and prices.
Fair rates, really sharp service staff, and practically instant service. I think that's the value that the Clone Store offers.
We've got systems for everyone, starting at $7.99. If you didn't buy it from the Clone Store, you probably paid too much.
Hi, never been to Farmer Mac's? Come on in, I'll show you around. Farmer
Farmer Max is known for lawn and garden supplies, but you know, we sell a lot of other things too. Over here we have all kinds of freezing and canning supplies, jars and containers, and a lot of people, if you like deer sausage, make deer sausage with this. If you're looking for a bird feeder, we've probably got one that'll suit your taste.
Watch for Farmer Mac's video tour number 46 featuring dog collars and expert advice.
Where the Cathedral Prep Ramblers have a 6-0 lead over Central Bucks West. We are at halftime. And I am Brian Duffy, joined with East Head football coach John Dahlstrand. And, Coach, a great finish for the Ramblers at the end of the half. It's got to give them an emotional lift. We talked to Minute George before the half. As a football coach, how important is it getting a big score late in the half to take a lead?
Well, in a defensive struggle like this, it's very important. I just hope the extra point doesn't come back to haunt them. As you look at the stats, Cathedral Prep held them to 69 total yards offense. Against a team like this, that's spectacular. And their offense has been fair. You can't really say they had a great day. The big stat is 114 yards rushing versus 15 yards they held Central Bucks to.
Yeah, I think it's been balanced, and we expected it to be balanced. Time of possession, 13:25 for Cathedral Prep, 10 minutes and 35 seconds for Central Bucks West. Prep with 114 yards rushing. Central Bucks West with 60 yards rushing. It's an old cliche, Coach, but they say defense wins championships, and right now it looks like Prep's defense is doing just a number on the Central Bucks West offense, and we were concerned because of the formations and the sets they were going to use, and it looks like the Ramblers are doing what me and you thought they had to do, read and react to the play, not read and react to a set.
Exactly. They're reading, reacting, and I think the line of scrimmage, they're shutting them down. I mean, right now the whole key's been a line of scrimmage, and I'd give Prep the nod in dominating line of scrimmage.
I think another big thing, Coach, to look at is turnovers. The weather conditions are not great. We haven't had a lot of rain, but there is some wind out there. Turnovers, there's been none by either team, and we talked a little bit about that too. Both these teams are here not because they're the most talented football teams in the world. Obviously, they've got some good people, some great skilled people, but you take a look at the team Prep beat last week in Connellsville. Hey, they got some people on that team, you know, some big old 325-pound good old boys. But these two teams execute, and I think you can see that by the number of penalties and by the number of turnovers the two teams have.
Right. If you look at Cathedral Prep statistics from the 14 games they played in, they've only given up the ball 20 times versus their opponents. They've turned the ball over to themselves 41 times. So that just goes to show you, Mark Tate alone has carried the ball 270 times and only fumbled twice.
Yeah, I think the Ramblers are in good shape at this point with a 6-0 lead at half. They've got all the momentum in the world. Our Mike Gallagher is standing down on the field live. Michael, what do you have for us?
Thank you, Duff. We're with Headmaster Art Berger Masco. Sir, thank you for joining us here at halftime of what has turned out to be an unbelievable first half. Before we talk about Cathedral Prep, before we talk anything regarding the school, let's talk about this first half and your thoughts.
I was very pleased with the first half. These are two fine football teams, Mike, and this is what this game will build up to, everything it has been, and I'm very proud that the way our kids scored with about 5 seconds left in a half, and they've done that all year.
You and I were talking here just before we went on the air here now that the weather seems to be getting worse as we go, as we had anticipated.
Yes, and in fact, we anticipated this weather before the game, but I'm glad it held off at least to the second half.
Sir, if we could, just look at this whole picture as a whole. For the school, for the town, to get this far regardless of what happens today. What does it mean to the institution?
Well, you know, when I watch this football team, it sort of reminds me of the 70 years of the tradition of Prep. A lot of people this year didn't expect this football team to go this far. A lot of them didn't expect them to beat teams like Vincent, teams like St. Ignatius, and they didn't expect us to beat Connellsville, but we're here, and I think it's because of the work ethic of our men at Prep, Mike.
We always hear of education first, athletics second. How does a situation like this help educationally?
Well, educationally at the school, I think what it does is this. if you take an institution and you pride yourself on building the mind, body, and spirit, you see the student body here for this spirit. You see the boys out there working hard, and they're fighting for one common goal, not only to be the best in academics, but also to be the best in whatever activity they participate in.
Art Bergamasco, the headmaster of Cathedral Prep, thank you for joining us at halftime. Hopefully we'll talk after the game about our champions.
Thank you, Mike. It's been my pleasure.
Thank you for joining us. And there you have the story from him. Certainly a great time for Cathedral Prep, not only because they're here at the state championship game, but especially right now because they're leading by the score of 6-0 here at halftime over CB West. We'll take a break, then our John Evans will join you live from the studios of TV 24. Again, our score at halftime, Prep 6, CB West nothing. Stay with us for more PIAA state championship action.
Family fun and fitness are all at the YMCA. When you think of gymnasiums for organized leagues or just pick up basketball, think of the YMCA. They offer swimming pools, indoor running tracks, saunas, free weights, Nautilus equipment, private lockers, and whirlpools, all in a clean, safe environment. With child care facilities and programs for all ages, the YMCA is here to build strong bodies and promote strong values. Join now at 91 rates for big savings at the Y. And remember, your membership's good at all 3 Erie area YMCAs.
Up to Cadillac with no down payment. Now you can lease a sedan DeVille for only $499 a month with no down payment and enjoy anti-lock brakes, leather seating areas, and the largest interior of any front drive luxury car. And at $499 a month with no down payment, leasing a sedan DeVille isn't just a luxurious move, it's an intelligent one.
So hurry into your nearest Northwest Pennsylvania Gold Key Cadillac dealer today.
Shopping the Mill Creek Mall's 195 department and specialty stores is easier than ever this year with the new Mall Shuttle. Travel one end of the mall to the other between the hours of 12 noon and 10:30 p.m. without trudging through the snow or waiting for a parking space. It's also convenient for our senior and physically disabled customers. Now you can bring the world home quicker and easier than ever at the Mill Creek Mall.
Every second. Every minute. Every hour. Of every day. News is happening.
Everywhere. Count on Action News 24 with Don Schreiber and World News Tonight with Peter Jennings. The experience to bring you all the news you need in 1 hour.
Everywhere.
Good afternoon, everyone. John Evans back in the JET-TV studios with his halftime report on the Prep Central Bucks West football game. The Quad A Championship certainly living up to its advanced billing thus far. Prep holding a 6-0 lead at the half. Let's check out some of the action from Altoona as the teams shake hands after the coin toss to get things going today in this long-anticipated matchup all week. Coach Minna George and his troops looking for their first ever state championship. Central Bucks West also has not received a state crown thus far. CB West, good opportunity here as Greg Moylan throws it to Roman Fitzmartin, but Chris Pushkar is there to break it up for the Prep Ramblers, and this stalls the drive for CB West as they head to punt. The Ramblers will get the ball back deep in their own territory. Harry Isbicki to Mark Tate. Watch him gain right here as he gets up to the 34-yard line, a 25-yard gainer for the Prep Ramblers. They seem to be in business, but their drive also stalls. As we move on to the third quarter of action, the same drive here. Prep's Harry Isbicki goes back, curls left, but is dropped for a loss. And they also would have to punt, this game remaining scoreless till the very waning moments of the first half. 5 seconds left in the half. Prep has the ball deep in CB West territory. As Coach Minna George wants to get this ball into the end zone, and Mark Tate does the job here. As Tate will get the ball and go 22 yards. Nice effort here as he cuts right, avoiding the tacklers on the defense into the end zone for the score. 6-0. The point after was blocked, so Prep does have a 6-0 lead at the half in Altoona for the Quad A State Championship. And one other game that we have to make mention of course, Strong Vincent's Colonels involved in the AAA Championship game near Scranton at the Lancaster County Stadium. They are at the half as well, and it's 20-15 at this point. Conestoga Valley is leading Strong Vincent. That score is reversed. I should have that Conestoga Valley 20, Strong Vincent 15. That game also at the half. We'll keep you updated on the progress of that one throughout the rest of our ball game. And that's it for now from the studio. We'll return you live to Altoona with Mike Gallagher and Brian Duffy after this timeout.
At the First National Bank of Pennsylvania, we're working hard to keep you, our customer, first.
We're dedicated to helping you achieve financial success
With the finest banking services available. Whatever your needs, our aim is to provide a level of
quality and service that is second to none. In every transaction, large or small,
in every service, whether it be checking, savings, trust, or lending, our goal is simple: customer satisfaction.
Welcome back live to Mansion Park, where the Cathedral Prep Ramblers lead CB West by the score of 6-0 in this, the PIAA State Championship game. A great game for the Ramblers thus far because we have the lead and the weather is starting to worsen as the day progresses. Joining us live, Prep Athletic Director Ron Surtz. Sir, you and I were talking just moments ago how important that score was, maybe because of this weather.
Well, the weather, the field conditions are very terrible down here. The wind is picking up and the rain's starting to come in, so I think having 6 points on the board at this point is nice to have. We'd rather have it than be on the other side with the 0.
To this point in the ball game, has the game been what you've expected?
Well, I think they're a little stronger than what we expected, to tell the truth. We've controlled the ball offensively very well, and I think if we get to control the ball, that's going to be the key for the second half, too. If we can keep time of possession, keep the ball away from them in the big play, I think we'll be okay.
As the athletic director of Cathedral Prep, must make your job fun when a team can do what this team has done. Not just getting to the state championship, but the success of the program over the years, and now maybe it's reaching that final peak when so many people didn't even think they might win might have trouble winning the Metro.
Well, we're proud of all of our programs at Prep. We're proud of our students. We're proud of the parents that support us so well. You know, if you look and see what we're doing in all of our programs, we're extremely pleased with the progress. We've had national ranked football teams, basketball teams doing well every year. We just had a cross-country team win the district, a soccer team win the district, a wrestling team that went to the Top Hat tournament, and we could go on and on. I think it's I've said this before, a collaborative effort with everyone involved, parents, students, faculty, and we've got the best kids in the world, Mike.
Regardless of what happens here today, any anticipation or any schedule for the team going back so the fans at home that might want to meet the team might make some plans for this evening?
Well, immediately after the game and after they get out of the showers, we're going to head out, get a little something to eat, and then we're going to head right back to Erie and do what we traditionally do, and that's go to the Cathedral and say a prayer on the steps of the Cathedral. We do that after every game, win or lose, whether home or away, and we'll be proud to be representing Erie and be on the stairs of the Cathedral to say that prayer of thanks that we came out of this healthy and hopefully happy.
Well, if things continue this way, hopefully we'll be bringing the state championship back with us. Ron Surtz, thank you for joining us at halftime. And let me mention one other thing. Have fun in Hawaii. I believe you leave Monday. How does the AD get to go? You must have arranged the trip.
I did arrange the trip, and it's been 3 years in coming. We try to do some of that far-range planning, and this works out terrific. If we can win a state championship, it'll make the flight a lot more fun, and of course we're looking forward to the weather too.
And the football players will get to make the trip that are on the basketball team, namely Mark Tate.
Absolutely. We have a basketball game tomorrow night. Maybe Mark will be there. I don't know.
Well, we will see. Thank you, sir, for joining us. Lots of luck second half. Again, our score at halftime. The Ramblers lead by the count of 6-0. We will be back with the PIAA Executive Director, Russell Warner, right after this.
Gary Miller Dodge, Peach and Liberty presents the full line of Dodge for 1992. Tough Dodge trucks, the popular Caravan, the excitement of Dodge cars, all available now at special early winter discounts. And there's something new at Gary Miller's at Peach and Liberty, announcing Erie's new home of Mazda, the Miata Sports Group, Mazda trucks, and the Mazda minivan taking America by storm. Yes, Mazda has come home to Gary Miller Dodge, Peach and Liberty.
We are back live in Altoona, Pennsylvania, where the Ramblers lead CB West by the score of 6-0. Joining us live here at halftime, Dr. Russell Warner, the Executive Director of the PIAA. Sir, I'm going to put you on the spot. You have to admit, District 10, Metro League, Erie, Pennsylvania, not only with the Ramblers, but the strong Vincent Colonels, we are putting out our share of champions.
You sure are. You have strong football, no question about it.
How about the status of the PIAA overall with the playoffs and the state football playoffs? Are they coming around to where you wanted them to be? I know you implemented them a few years ago. Are we now at a point where you really want to be?
Getting better every year. In the West this year, as you know, we had playoffs in the field. Hopefully we'll get that in the East, and then we'll be about there.
What about as far as the length of the season, though? Some people do offer their concerns because basketball players, wrestlers, run seasons into one another. Is that a concern of the PIAA?
Surely it's a concern. The season's much too long. Football should not be going on this late in the year, but it's the only way we can have football championships.
I have to ask you to assess this first half of play. You've watched it like the rest of us. Keep in mind that there is a Cathedral Prep audience watching this telecast.
Well, I don't even have to keep that in mind. I knew both teams were strong. I said that before the game, and the first half proved that. Either team is very, very strong, and at this point I have to be impressed with Cathedral Prep. Look very good.
Dr. Russell Werner, thank you for joining us at halftime. A super job by the PIAA and a beautiful facility here in Altoona, Pennsylvania.
Thank you
for joining us. Again, our score at halftime, the Cathedral Prep Ramblers lead CB West by the score of 6-0. We'll be back to get ready for the second half kickoff after this.
To play like a pro, you've got to look like a pro. The Erie Sports Store specializes in custom team uniforms and equipment. We've been outfitting and servicing over 120 schools and colleges for the past 40 years, plus numerous Little League and recreational leagues. We offer competitive team and quantity discounts, plus the top-of-the-line brand names. Stop in and see any one of our pro staff employees in the team department. We know our sports, and we'll assist you in any way we can to look the part of a pro.
John Falbo, owner of Falbo's Hair Care Plus, would like to take this opportunity to salute the Cathedral Prep Ramblers and wish both them and Coach Minna George the best of luck in this weekend's Pennsylvania Quad A football championship against Central Buck West. John Falbo has been serving Erie for 24 years. Falbo's Hair Care Plus offers professional hair cutting, styling, and perming, the Sesame Street Kids Corner, convenient hours, appointments appreciated. Falbo's Hair Care Plus, 3711 Cherry Street.
We're back live at Mansion Park in Altoona, Pennsylvania. Cathedral Prep with a 6-0 lead over Central Bucks West at halftime. We're now able to take a look at the halftime stats and see how this one shapes up so far. I think the first thing that'll jump out at you when you take a look at the stats is the fact that passing yards for both teams. Cathedral Prep with only 5 yards passing, and Central Bucks West, we were concerned going into the game that they could hurt Cathedral Prep with their passing game. They have 1 yard passing on the afternoon. So, Coach, that's an obvious plus for Cathedral Prep at this time. The wind has contributed to that, we have to be honest, but Prep's got to be very happy they've held that very good passing attack to only 1 yard.
Yes, not only attributed that to the wind, but the pat.
Here, we'll take a look at the stats now. 1 first down for Cathedral Prep, 7 first downs for Central Bucks West, 28 rushes for 114 yards for Prep, 15 rushes, only 60 yards for Central Bucks West. Yards passing, 5 for Cathedral Prep and 1 for Central Bucks West. Total yards, not a whole lot of offense from either team, but the Ramblers are getting it done a bit on the ground. 119 total yards to 69 for Central Bucks West. Only 7 passes attempted, and that's a lot to do with the win. Cathedral Prep 1 for 4, Central Bucks West 1 for 3. We knew both of these teams were great executing teams. No turnovers for both teams. Time of possession pretty even. The Ramblers with that long drive to close out the half and take that 6-0 lead with a bit of an edge in that department. Penalties. Same thing we talked about with turnovers. We didn't expect a lot of penalties from either team. Cathedral Prep 2 penalties for only 10 yards. Central Bucks West 1 penalty for 5 yards. Third down conversions, the Ramblers at 50% and Central Bucks West at 25%. And I guess the story of this game has been defense. Give some credit to the win, but also give a lot of credit to both of these defenses.
Looking at the Cathedral Prep band down on the field performing here at halftime. Both teams are back out on the field. And I think an interesting note, gentlemen, the coaching staff here in the box for Cathedral Prep working their way up from the halftime locker room. Their major concern coming in back into the booth is what's happening with the Strong Vincent Colonels. As we know, 20-15, I believe, is the score now. And I think it just goes to show that their minds are there and their hearts are there with their fellow league mates and the Colonels as well. So
definitely, hopefully, when this day is over, Erie, Pennsylvania will have not one, but 2 state champions returning home. And we are almost set for the second half. And the Ramblers on the sideline, 6-0. Now, the wind and the weather is definitely changing. It's getting worse. The skies are darkening. It's a little bit of rain and the wind picking up. So, it's still anybody's ball game to this point.
I think the weather right now favors Prep. They don't have to come back. There's no pressure on Cathedral Prep to come out and score real quick. Central Bucks West will get the football to start the second half. Then they're going to have to put it up in the air. They're not effective running the football. They've run it 15 times. They've only got 60 yards. They haven't been effective doing anything offensively. Give a lot of credit to the Prep defense. Central Bucks West is going to have to make a lot of adjustments at halftime. Isbicki's done a good job so far as you get a good look at him getting ready for the center snaps. They haven't thrown it much, but he's made some good decisions.
The captains out at midfield, Ryan Moore, Dave Binder, and Greg Moylan for CB West. And for the Ramblers as they come back to the sideline, it's Mark Tate, Chris Feeney, Paul Schaff, and Pat McMahon. The Ramblers leading 6-0. Again, the drive late in the first half covered 60 yards in 14 plays, took up 4 minutes and 11 seconds on the clock. Now, last week we've seen the Ramblers in the fourth quarter put together a long established drive that got them the win. So that's really what they want to do, is control the ball.
I think this is the key series here. They're up 6-0. If they kick the ball to these guys and hold them and punt for, get in decent field position, establish another drive, I think you're going to see CW West lose a little of their momentum, which they've had all game. Even though they're down 6-0, they've been banging in there all the way. And you're going to see a more even ball game.
Looking on from the sideline is Mike Penton, the coach since 1967 for CB West. Meanwhile, Minna George has 12 years as the Ramblers head coach under his belt with a record of 109-22-2. Keep in mind, Minna with 7 straight Metro titles, 6 straight District 10 championships, 35 straight conference wins. So certainly, definitely a game that is a lot more than just a game. But here a big play. The flea has it, and he may break it. Finally, pulled down from behind at the 45-yard line of the Ramblers, and that is a very big return for Matt Sonsini.
Well, I don't think it's a stretch to say that's the last thing in the world Minna George wanted to see to open up this half. This offense hasn't moved the football at all. Now they get a big play, and that's the kind of thing that can spark a football team.
Absolutely. Anytime you get a kickoff, if you get one block, spring a block, the guy breaks it up the middle, you got a single line of defenders, you can have a situation what you have.
Moylan rolling right to throw with the wind, getting pressure, fires it out, and it's incomplete, going for Sonsini, who, by the way, picked up 39 yards on that kickoff return to the 45. Perkins there on to break it up, or rather Level, for the Ramblers.
Doesn't surprise me at all that they came out and tried to throw the football. No success running it. How about you, Coach? Did you expect them, especially since they have the win here in the third quarter? They got to score probably 1 or 2 touchdowns in this third quarter while they are with the win, because it's with their strength, the passing game.
Absolutely. Well, supposedly Moylan's a Division I quarterback, and so far he's been shut out totally by the Ramblers. They're going to have to try to get him going and get some offense.
Out of the I formation, Fitz Martin split to the near side, rolling left is Moylan to throw. He looks, fires, and it is complete. Out over across the 35 to the 29-yard line. Sweat from the tight end position makes the grab. Pliskar and Mark Tate there to run him out of bounds.
Well, we saw them do that quite a bit in their last couple of football games. They roll to the left, and Moylan's got a nice arm, and he's pretty accurate at that distance. I'm not sure about his accuracy any longer than that at this point, but Moylan can throw that pass, even though he's a right-hander rolling to his left. And they have been successful with that over the years, and I think they're going to stick with that. They've moved it a little bit so far.
Ball on the 27, 1st and 10, 11:30 remaining third quarter. The Ramblers lead 6-0 out of the I formation. Men split to either side. The give is to the deep man, Cleland, and he doesn't get much. He's brought down.
Well, those couple passes really open it up for him. Now they're kind of moving around. They're running the ball a little bit, passing the ball. That time they ran a draw, and it's got Prep a little bit on edge now, not knowing what to expect.
Lebo on the stop for the Ramblers. So that brings up a 2nd down and 9 at Prep's 26-yard line. Moylan, the quarterback. Fitz Martin now splits far to the right side of the field. They change formation, single setback, man in the slot position. Sweat split to the near side, rolling right, and the pressure coming. He gets it out and dropped by Fitzmartin. Coleman out there to break up the play.
That was a big blitz by Liebel. Liebel came in number 4 and laid a big hit on the quarterback.
Coleman's got a nose for the ball, too. When that thing's in the air, he knows where to go.
We were talking about that earlier. You start throwing the ball like crazy, Cathedral Prep will come down with it. Perkins has 8 interceptions. Tate has 6. Tate also returned 2 of those back for scores.
So that brings up 3rd down and 9. The ball at the 26-yard line. 10:47 remaining third quarter. The Ramblers lead it by the score of 6-0. Single setback. In tight. Man in motion is Sonsini to the near side of the field. Back to pass. Goes Moylan. Has time. Rolling right. Makes time for himself. Now getting pressure. Throws long for the end zone. And it is long out of bounds.
Not even close.
It wasn't close, but I tell you, he came down with that ball, and he had 3 defenders on him.
That's the linebacker. That's Sweet. And we didn't really see much of those two linebackers, Sweet and Fassbender, doing much offensively, and they've really contributed a little bit to the little bit that Central Bucks West has gotten offensively. Those guys have done their share.
Yes. And it is beginning to rain harder. The umbrellas go up in the stands. So hopefully the Ramblers can stop them here on 4th and 9, and definitely we anticipated they would go for it, because last week with a similar situation inside the 15, they elected to go for it.
Yeah, they don't have a guy that can kick a field goal, and as long as the game stays close, that's going to be the Prep's advantage also.
Sonsini and Fitzmartin split to the far side of the field. Moylan rolling right, throws, trying to get the first down, and he completes it. We'll see where the spot of the ball comes, but there's a flag on the play. Coleman with the hit.
Real late flag.
It might be pass interference, but from where we're sitting, it's tough to tell. Might have been offensive pass interference.
Flag came away after the play was already blown dead, and it looks like the Ramblers are going to get a big break. Illegal man downfield called on Central Bucks West, and when that happens in those type of situations, you get a lot of guys scrambling around. Offensive linemen forget where they are on the football field. They're trying to do their jobs. You can't blame them. They're looking for someone to knock down, and it was a break for the Ramblers.
Take a look at it again. And a nice catch by Fitzmartin, but nice stick by Coleman. The ball comes loose and goes out of bounds. And then the flag comes in, and that will nullify that.
It is so hard when a quarterback starts scrambling to stay with your man. Here we're going to get the call from the official here on exactly what the penalty was.
We got an ineligible offense. Repeat 4th down.
Yeah, we were talking about this earlier. We watched him in the tape against Easton. The quarterback does have a designed keeper. He'll run to the right or left. And when he starts scrambling, he's probably told if there's nothing there to tuck it and run. Sometimes if he takes that much time, you're going to have a man down.
And your offensive line is also expecting a guy like that. He's like you want to compare him to somebody, a running quarterback like an Elway or a Cunningham. And your offensive line, when they know that, they're going to start moving downfield looking for somebody to block, and it can cause some problems.
Fitzmartin to punt. His last one of 18. This one is high. And a fair catch called for, but it will bounce and go into the end zone for a touchback. So the Ramblers will have it 1st and 10 from their own 20 here in the third quarter of play, leading by the score of 6-0 with the score, again 6-0 with 10:10 remaining. We'll be back with more after this.
Now through Saturday, it's the Arthur F. Schultz wall-to-wall clearance. 160,000 square feet. $4 million of brand-name living rooms, bedrooms, lazy boy recliners, Sealy bedding, home electronics, and appliances at spectacular savings. Schultz has it. Extended credit terms are available with no interest and no payments. Plus, our convenient express delivery. Don't miss our wall-to-wall clearance. Now through Saturday at Arthur F. Schultz Superstore, 26th and Cascade in Erie.
And while we were away, a nice play by Mark Tate. Watch the run just moments ago. He gets great yardage, gets the first down out to about the 37. So now they're out of the I formation, and Isbicki pitches to Tate, and Tate brings it out across the 40 to almost the 41-yard line. That'll bring up second down. Sweat on the stop for the CB West Bucks.
They don't have an answer for Tate at this point. I really don't think they do. Mark Tate just carried the ball 2 times. He's gained 20 yards. I don't think they can stop Mark Tate at this point. And the longer it rains, the more the advantage is going to the Ramblers. They haven't figured out a way, and obviously in their halftime adjustments, they haven't figured out a way to stop him as of yet.
No, even if there's nothing there, he makes something out of nothing.
And run out of bounds by Williamson for the Ramblers is Chantel Hilliard.
I like the play selection there by Minute George. They've been keying on him. They're keying on Tate, and they go with the sweep the other way. People following Tate the other way, and Hilliard with some good yardage.
The ball spotted at the 49 of the Ramblers. The rain comes down even harder with 9:22 to go, and definitely could work to the Ramblers' advantage, and the give is in the backfield to Hilliard, and Fassbender is there to stop him for a loss.
They just ran the defense we saw over and over again against Easton. They just blitzed number 43. Last week against Easton, he blitzed every single play we saw him on film. So that was a real big play for him.
So the Ramblers now in punt formation. Sitter will come on to punt for Cathedral Prep, and Sonsini will stand back at about his 30-yard line, awaiting the punt. And Sitter is standing at about the 29. Snap is there, and the punt's away. Sonsini stepping up under it, takes it at the 33. Perez slips, and he doesn't get much further, however, out across the 35 to maybe the 36 or 37-yard line. Chris Benser on the stop for the Ramblers.
It wasn't exactly a great punt, but it did have enough hang time for the return team to come down.
Well, he was into the wind too, and so you know, that's a bonus. Any yardage you can get into that wind. We saw a couple bad punts by Fitzmartin in the first half by Central Bucks West, and that was certainly a better effort for Sitter.
Out of the eye, the fake, the roll right by Moylan. Moylan looks deep down the field, and it is incomplete. Attempted for Fitzmartin. Perkins was there, right on his tail, but nicely thrown ball considering the conditions.
It's quite obvious right now that they're not screwing around with any more of that running. They figured out that they can't get Cleveland free. They can't get their fullback Binder free for any big yardage. They feel they've got to throw the ball, and that's become quite obvious so far here. A lot of air under it again, Coach.
A lot of air under it, but I tell you what, he does throw an accurate ball. That's right on the money again. It's just slightly out of bounds.
I think it was a bad pattern because the guy was catching the ball, and he was out of bounds when he was looking to catch it. So maybe it's Martin's fault there on not a great run pattern.
Moylan now 2 for 8 on the afternoon for just 20 yards in the passing department. Going in motion is Cleveland from the near side to the far side of the field, and they will keep right. It's Moylan going to keep it, gets out across the 40 to maybe the 43-yard line, and Perkins comes up to make the stop.
That was a designed play there. There was no even look to throw it. Moylan was running from the get-go.
7:57 remaining in the third quarter. Third down, and call it a long 4. 6-0, the Ramblers lead. The ball on CB West's own 43-yard line. The rain is coming down, and the wind is carrying it right to left on the field, so it is at the back of the Bucks of CB West as they go out of the I formation on this 3rd down and 4. The give is to the deep man, Sonsini, who gets out and gets a first down out near the 50-yard line, and he's brought down by Liebel.
I think the Bucks are going to have to take advantage of the wind being at their back right now. They only have 7 minutes to go, and then the wind's going to be in their face, and right now that's in Cathedral Prep's favor.
Really is picking up and getting cold, and the fans in the stands will indicate that. The umbrellas are up. The Prep crowd is keeping plenty warm as long as they keep the lead at 6-0 here with 7:20 to go in the third quarter. Single setback and split to the near side. Moylan rolls left, looks downfield for Sonsini, now wants to keep, gets out across the 50, and he's hit low and knocked out of bounds at about the 47-yard line by Liebel, who comes up to make the tackle around the legs.
Great open field tackle by Liebel, and he only picked up a couple. If he wouldn't have tackled him, he might have picked up a first down there.
second down and a long 6 for CB West. And quarterback Greg Moylan, who they say is a Division I prospect because of his great mobility, his ability to throw the ball and run with the football. He brings a man in motion. It's Cleland coming to the near side and the short side of the field, but the give is to Sonsini. One man slips and falls. He gets out across the 45 to the 44, and finally coming up to make the stop is Perez, Ramphis Perez, who earlier in the game you saw left with an injury. At halftime, the trainer indicated to me that he is okay. He just received a shot to the shoulder. It numbed his right arm, and they just wanted to check it, but he is okay. Third down conversion. CB West is 2 of 6, and now they're faced with a 3rd down and 3 at the 44-yard line. Moylan with a long count. They're in tight. He brings Cleland to the near side. Single setback. The give is on to the fullback straight up the middle, and he powers forward as Binder is finally stopped by Perkins out near the 30-yard line. And we saw Binder early in the game effective. They went away from using him. Now they're coming back to him.
Well, I think they stuffed the run so much early in the game. Binder did have a couple of good carries. They only had 60 yards rushing, though, in the first half. So they went away from it a little bit. They can come back to it now because they've loosened Prep's defense up just a little bit with the threat of that pass and with the threat of Moylan taking the ball around at the end. Binder does have 37 yards on 5 carries, so that's not too bad.
Binder doesn't have much speed, but he's a very powerful runner. As you can see him move again for about 5 yards.
So again, it's Binder straight up the middle, and he gets it out close to the 25-yard line. 5:21 remaining third quarter. 6-0, the Ramblers with the lead. And we'll call it 2nd down and about 5 for CB West. Bringing in the play is Cleland. As the Ramblers looking on with their fans. A good crowd making the trip from Erie, Pennsylvania. In this cold, rainy afternoon here in Altoona, Pennsylvania from Mansion Park. The give is the Binder, the fullback. Nice carry out across the 15, inside the 10, and still on his feet. Coleman made the initial hit on him, but it took a few Ramblers to bring him down.
I think if he would have kept his feet moving down there, he could have made an extra 5 yards. The kid's obviously tough to stop, and there was a nice hole, great blocking up front there, and the Ramblers got to get settled down and get their defensive line back on the field.
Fetzner finally corralled him to bring him to the turf, and it's now 1st down and goal at roughly the 9-yard line.
They like to throw in this situation. They'll like to get Moylan on his way on the roll out either left or right, preferably to the wide open side of the field, so he'd be rolling to his right. We've also seen him go with Sonsini in these types of situations on a pitch out. That wasn't very effective the time we saw it in a goal line situation, but look for anything here. They're not afraid to throw it in this situation.
So they have it just inside the 10-yard line with 4:40 remaining third quarter. 1st down and 9. Moylan, the quarterback, has Cleland in a slot position to the near side of the field. The give is in the backfield, and Feeney with the stop.
Is that linebacker carrying the football again? Fast Binder. He's really surprised at that. That's one thing Central Bucks West has done this afternoon that has surprised us a little bit.
They're playing quite a few people in the backfield and giving a lot of people a look at the ball. And I think with the quarterback rolling out the way he does, it buys him a little extra time, and he does have decent feet.
2nd down and 7. The ball at the 7. Under 4 minutes to go. They give the pass Bender again, and he gets out across the 5. Feeney is there once again to make the stop. So that's going to bring up 3rd down and either a long 4 or maybe close to 5. And it is 3rd and goal, but it is still 5 yards from the goal line.
I think it's safe to say right now this is probably the biggest play. Well, you know what? They are going to go for 2, so they are going to go twice. I don't think they're going to try and kick a field goal in this situation.
And they take a timeout, so we'll do the same with the Ramblers leading CB West by a score of 6-0. Stay with us. We're back with more after this.
For sports medicine, arthroscopic surgery, joint replacements, fractures, arthritis surgery, foot and hand problems. The Orthopedic Surgeons Incorporated, proud to support the 1991 Cathedral Prep football team.
Now, more than ever, you need Erie's oldest name in auto repair, Raz Auto Body. Why take chances with anyone else? Raz Auto Body offers 3 generations of experience on collision, paint, and major body work. They also offer complete towing service, free estimates, and provide an indoor storage area to keep your vehicle safe. And Raz Auto Body will work with all insurance companies. So when it's auto repairs you need, call the name that's been around the longest, Raz Auto Body, the people's choice in body work.
We're back live at Mansion Park. Mike Gallagher along with Brian Duffy and John Dahlstrand, the head coach of the East High Warriors. And right now, CB West threatening to score with 3rd and goal at the 5-yard line. Moylan, the quarterback. And they are in tight. He has Sonsini in the slot to the near side of the field as he brings them in motion.
Big play here.
Side.
You got 3rd and 5.
He's going to keep it on the roll. He's run down at about the 2-yard line, so that's going to bring up a 4th down and goal. One interesting stat, the entire first half, CV had 15 rushes for 60 yards. In the 3rd quarter, they now have 11 rushers for the same 60 yards. So,
Shaun Coleman, a nice job on the play for the Ramblers, holding on for dear life. Got just enough of Moylan's jersey on the play. That, again, was a designed run the whole way. We thought he might roll out on 1st and 2nd down. They waited till 3rd down, and I think they've pretty much got to do the same thing here. They're either going to roll with Moylan or they're going to give it to one of those 2 linebackers that are in the backfield and let them pound it up the middle. Sweat is in the lineup.
So we have 4th down and goal. Sweat the single setback, and again Moylan takes a timeout as he gets down near the goal line. And we've seen them do it before. We've seen it in the tapes last week. They get down into a position where they can score, and they're forced to take timeouts.
Well, it really cost them last week, especially in the first half. They took all 3, 2 of them in the first quarter, 1 of them early in the 2nd quarter, and it hurt them, and it could come back to haunt them at this point. They've only got 1 left.
Stay with us. We'll be back in 30 seconds to see if they score. The Ramblers lead at 6-0.
The magical season of Christmas is here, and so is the Perico Holiday Spirit of Gifting. Now until Christmas Eve, every new Ford car and truck includes your choice of a beautiful Emerson 19-inch color TV with cable and remote, or an Emerson 4-head VCR with remote. And we'll beat any competitor's price, or we'll give you both gifts. A solid $600 value absolutely free. There's never been a better deal. Now until Christmas Eve, we'll beat any competitor's price and include your gift. Happy holidays from Lou Perico Motors. Lou, what a guy.
To set the stage for you here in the 3rd quarter from Altoona, Pennsylvania and Mansion Park, the Ramblers lead at 6-0, but CB West with a 4th and goal at Prep's 2-yard line. Moylan, the quarterback, single setback, and he gives it to that fullback who powers into the end zone. Binder gets the touchdown, and we are tied at 6.
It's a crucial kick right here. That Rob Sweat, I tell you, banging it in there.
Actually, it was Binder who has done well. He's been effective early in the game, and he did so on this drive. And I guess if you're going to let him bring it down there, you let him punch it in.
Yeah, exactly. And they did a nice job. That was a nice drive. They had a nice balanced attack. And, you know, how big is this play right now? This is, we talked about 3rd and 4th down being the 2 biggest plays of the game. Well, we spoke too soon. Here's the biggest play up to this point.
We talked about this the first half. This could come back and haunt them. As you see, it goes up and it's good, and it's 7-6.
John Patterson connects on the point after conversion to give CB West their first lead in the ball game here in the 3rd quarter with 2:45 remaining. CB West up on the Ramblers by the score of 7-6. Recapping the drive for you, covered 63 yards in 12 plays, took 5 minutes and 42 seconds off the clock with Binder with the 2-yard touchdown run. But when you keep in mind that they took 5 minutes and 42 seconds off the clock, that's less time they have to work with the wind, where the Ramblers will be coming back with an entire 4th quarter with the wind at their back.
I don't think it's as important for Prep to have the wind as it is important for Central Bucks West to have the wind. So still, Prep with the advantage, I think, in the 4th quarter. They've been pretty successful still moving it with Tate. Don't look for Minute George to panic. There's an eternity left in the football game. Prep will get the ball probably 2, 3, maybe even 4 more times in the football game and get 1 more score. And I think Central Bucks West, if they do get down again, they're going to be hard-pressed to put it in against the wind.
John Patterson getting set to kick off. Back to receive for the Ramblers, standing on about the 5-yard line. Dorian Hager and Chantel Hillier. And an update from the AAA game. 22-20, the strong Vincent Colonels have taken the lead over Conestoga Valley. And taking the ball for the Ramblers is Chantel Hilliard. He gets return out across the 15 and brought down at about the 18-yard line by Rob Sweat, the linebacker fullback for CB West.
That was a great play by Sweat. He ran right through the wedge, balanced up, and made the play.
So it'll be first down and 10 for Isbicki and the Cathedral Prep offense. The ball at about the 18-yard line. Out of the I formation, sitter split to the far side of the field. The pitch comes to Mark Tate. Tate sidesteps, gets out maybe to the 20-yard line, or call it the 19. Williamson on the stop for CB West.
When your offense does something good, the whole team benefits. And right now, CB West is hoping that's going to be the case with their defense. That usually is the case in those type of situations, especially on this level where it becomes an emotional thing.
Absolutely, and right now it looks like CB West has some momentum going in their favor. They got their people up on their sidelines, and they're up 7-6.
Isbicki on the keeper on the left side. Now pitches it. The ball's loose on the field. And it's down, and it looks like the Ramblers have recovered, and it will be
third down on the 1-yard line.
Third down inside the one, literally on the goal line. A great job by Feeney to recover, but a near disaster, and maybe yet before it's all over here. Sweat, the one causing the play, and knocked the ball loose. Take a look at it again.
Well, the ball's going to be bouncing around. The problem here is the Ramblers avoided one disaster by recovering the football on the 1-yard line. But what this is going to do is it's going to make them punt into the wind. It's going to give Central Bucks West almost 2 minutes, 1:50 to work with the wind with great field position. So that really puts the Ramblers in a hole.
Absolutely.
So with third down and 27, there's a timeout on the field. We'll take a break. The Ramblers trail by 1 by the score of 7-6. Stay with us. We're back after this.
Shopping the Mill Creek Mall's 195 department and specialty stores is easier than ever this year with the new Mall Shuttle. Travel one end of the mall to the other between the hours of 12 noon and 10:30 p.m. without trudging through the snow or waiting for a parking space. It's also convenient for our senior and physically disabled customers. Now you can bring the world home quicker and easier than ever at the Mill Creek Mall.
Since 1921, Cathedral Prep's goal is to instill strong values in every student. Now 10,000 alumni strong, Prep's 91 football team continues to prove what hard work and dedication can earn.
The PIAA is looking for some good sports. Get off the bench and be part of the action by becoming a PIAA registered sports official. Call PIAA at 1-800-382-1392 for details.
From sports medicine to foot and ankle injury, trust Reconstructive Orthopedic Surgery of Erie.
We're back live at Mansion Park. The Ramblers with a tough situation at 3rd and 27 on their own goal line. Harry Isbicki will go out of the I formation and just try and get it out as he falls forward to get it to the 1, and now Sitter is going to have to punt from his own end line.
Yeah, this is a big play here. Sitter's, his average is about 30 yards, so he's about an average high school punter. He's kicking into the wind. You have a situation where they might be coming. A lot of pressure on your punter. If they get a bad snap, the best thing he could do is just get out of the end zone and take the 2 points. Hopefully he'll get it off.
Minute 19 remaining third quarter, and the wind is picking up. The rain continues to fall. And Sitter punting from his own end line.
Well, you know how strong the wind is when Sonsini's only at his 30-yard line. He's got to come up to get the football. How about this for field position?
And now they get it inside the 20 because he was kicking into a wind that was more of a wall. And now with great field position, CB West will come out with their offense with 1:01 remaining third quarter.
The 18-yard punt that kills him right there. But like you said, into the wind he's kicking into, I don't know what it is out there, but it looks like it's up to probably 40 mile, 35 mile an hour.
So CB West on offense.
With the wind, which is the key.
With a minute left to go in the third quarter. Moylan, the quarterback. Binder in the backfield. Sonsini goes in motion to the far side of the field. Gives straight up the middle to Binder, and again breaks several tackles, stays on his feet, and gets a first down inside the Rambler 10-yard line. And they found their man.
They're blowing them off the ball inside all of a sudden. Now, that defensive line had played a great first half. I don't know what they've done differently, but they're just not coming off the ball, and they're banging it right inside.
I think it's the, Coach, you think it's the threat of the pass? I mean, they came out and threw the ball maybe the first 5-6 times they touched it. It's got to loosen you up just a little bit.
That might be it, but I just think they're getting beat off the ball up front.
Now Sonsini at tailback with Binder at the fullback position. They're lined up tight. Send a man in motion to the far side of the field. Pushkar goes with him to follow. The pitch to Sonsini. Tries to come outside. Now brings it back inside, and he's hit, but not before picking up a couple of yards on the play.
That was great pursuit by the Rambler defense. Sonsini made a great cutback and got yards out of what there was nothing there.
Schaff eventually makes the tackle, and the third quarter is winding down. Doesn't look like they'll get off one more play, and they are out of timeout. So the third quarter comes to an end with the score. CB West 7, the Ramblers 6. CB West threatening to score. Come back to see what happens after this break.
Jet FM 102, Erie tradition. 40 years of rock and roll. The Beatles. For 40 years, there's been only one Erie radio station where the hits have been made. Play and stay. The tradition carries on. Jet FM 102.
The Ramblers trail by 1, and CB West threatening to score. Erie, Pennsylvania, say hello to one of our own, Tom Snyder, who is a camera operator and sports photographer for WTAJ here in Altoona, Pennsylvania. Tom Snyder, a Cathedral Prep graduate. His father, Jim, is in the hospital at St. Vincent Health Center. We know he's watching this game as well as the Vincent game. We want to say hello to him and wish him the very best, and let him and his family know that your son is doing an excellent job down here at WTAJ. In fact, the sports director here who is spotting in the booth for us says he is by far their finest sports photographer. But now back to the matters at hand, the wind blowing hard. It is second down and goal for CB West. And the give is to Binder. Binder fights towards the goal line. No indication from any official that he has scored, although CB West would like to believe that he has.
That's third down.
And that's going to bring him down there. Perkins comes up and makes the stop.
Well, they're going to go for it twice. So, I mean, they got 2 plays to go about 3 inches. So the Ramblers are really going to have to stiffen up here, and it's going to be awfully tough, especially with the way Binder's been carrying the football.
We got Binder. They've been rotating Sweet in.
Binder with 10 carries for 70 yards. He's the man in the backfield. They give it to him. He powers forward into the end zone, and CB West is on the scoreboard again.
I go for 2 here if I'm CB West. I make Prep get 2 scores to beat me at this point. They go for the 2. They got a 15-6 lead. The Ramblers need 9 points at that juncture. If they go for the 1, they've got 14, and a touchdown and a 2 can tie it. So I don't see any benefit for CB West going for the kick at this point. How about you, Coach?
No, I don't.
But
they are going for the kick.
Shows you how much I know.
Patterson on to attempt the extra point. Binder thus far this afternoon. 11 carries, 71 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Well, you might want to watch for a fake at this point. I really don't see why you go for 1 point here, so maybe they got the fake on.
Moylan to hold. Patterson to kick. The hold is down, the kick is up, it's high enough, long enough, and it is good. So with 11:22 remaining in this ball game, CB West now leads the Cathedral Prep Ramblers by the score of 14-6.
In 1985, Action News reported live from the People's Republic of China. WJET was only the second U.S. TV station to do that. In 1988, Action News followed Congressman Tom Ridge to South Vietnam, reporting live on his fact-finding trip on Amerasian children. And on the 50th anniversary of the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor, Action News reported on the people and events that commemorated that important event. Whether it's around the block or around the globe, Action News is there.
So CB West goes up by the score of 14-6 as they cap off a 19-yard drive that took 4 plays in 1:38 seconds. Again, it was Binder with a 1-yard touchdown run, his second scoring effort of the afternoon. And CB West now in control in this football game, but the Ramblers are not out of it at any point, at least at this point, because they do have the wind at their back, and hopefully now they can get some decent field position.
Yeah, they should get something out of this kick. They haven't really got a lot of field position out of their kicks. Hager's a guy that we've seen do some great things with kickoff returns over the course of the year. They're going to get a short kick here. Hilliard, maybe not the breakaway type of speed that Hager has, so if you're you probably want to see the ball in Hager's hands in this situation, averaging 24 yards a kickoff return, and he's capable of breaking one at any time.
So it's Hager and Hilliard back to receive the kick from Patterson. He'll kick from his 40-yard line.
He's kicking right into the wind here. They could get a break and get good field position here.
And they put Sonsini down to hold because of the wind. And now they're going to bring the ball to the other hash mark. Fooling everybody now, aren't they?
Don't ask me.
Boy, they sure caught me off guard on that. And it's a squib kick, and falling on it for the Ramblers is Chris Serafini.
Nice play there. Probably saved him 15 yards just by diving on the ground and getting after the ball. That thing could have rolled down to about the 25, 22-yard line.
But now the Ramblers with decent field position at their own 39-yard line. See if they can get it in gear with 11:21 remaining. They trail 14-6 here at Mansion Park in Altoona, Pennsylvania. And this the PIAA Quad A State Championship final. Out of the I formation, Sitter split to the near side of the field. The pitch goes to Mark Tate. Tate tries getting outside. It's pressured. He loses the football. It's on the ground. Looks like CB West may have recovered, or has it gone out of bounds? No, they give it to CB West, so they will take over 1st and 10 with great field position. Sweat comes up with the football. And now the Ramblers may be in trouble.
Well, this is an uncharacteristic thing for the Ramblers, making 2 crucial errors like this one in the last possession. But in 40, 50-mile-an-hour winds and downpour, anybody can make mistakes.
Well, I don't think there's any question right now. The defense has got to stiffen up right here. I think any more points put on the board puts the Ramblers in a real tough situation. Right now, even a field goal hurts you. I don't know how good of a field goal kicker they have, and they need quite a bit to get into that range. But Prep's got to get 3 and out here.
Moylan, the quarterback. And they're going to give it to Binder, the man who's done it all here in the second half. He gets out across the 40 to near the 38-yard line. And I guess that's probably the strategy to use. Go with what works.
They're just running a short, quick trap in there and banging in there with the fullback. And Prep hasn't been able to stop it in the second half.
Schaff with the tackle for the Cathedral Prep Ramblers. 10:37 on a ticking 4th quarter clock. 14-6 again our score. Minna George soaking wet, looking on, and not a very happy man at this point. 2nd down and 7 for the Bucks. Binder on the fake. Moylan will keep it around the left side. He's got room to run, gets the 1st down, and gets out near the 26-yard line where he's run out of bounds by Coleman.
I don't know if we have that we could take another look at that with a replay, but did you see the formation they lined up in there? Lined up with an unbalanced line to the complete right side, and then they turn around. You see everyone's on the right-hand side of the line. Moylan takes the ball on a naked boot around the left side with only 2 blockers.
Absolutely. If you look at it, most of the time you run an unbalanced line, teams tend to run toward the unbalanced part of the line. And he takes it all the way back. We saw it on film, and they've also run a trap backside with the same formation.
So the ball at the 25-yard line of the Cathedral Prep Ramblers. CB West with it with 10:17 left to go in the football game. And Sonsini jumps way offside.
That's a break.
Flag is down, so that will back him up 5 yards, and the give would have been to Binder. And the Ramblers need any break they can get at this point.
It's just been one bad break after another for the Ramblers. This is a small one in their favor.
Illegal procedure. Wait. 1st down.
The call from the referee backs them up 5 yards, so they're looking at first down and 15. Call at the 30-yard line of the Cathedral Prep Ramblers. Running in the play was Steve DeLuca to Moylan, and Binders in the backfield along with DeLuca, and they're in a tight formation. And the give is to Binder off the left side, and the Ramblers seem to maintain him this time. Fetzner there to make the stop. Ramphis Perez also coming up to assist.
Good pursuit. They stop the play. This is important for them to stop them here, get the ball back, and they have to do something. There's 10 minutes to go, but in these conditions, they're going to have to get some kind of drive going and produce some points.
Yeah, this is the series right here. I don't think there's any question. They've got him in a bit of a hole. They've got a 2nd and 14 now. They give up a first down here. They're going to lose about another 4 minutes on the clock, and that can really hurt them.
Out of the I formation, Binder is the fullback. A man split to the far side, actually twins to the far side of the field. The fake and the keep by Moylan. He picks up a yard, maybe 2, as he lunges forward to the 26-yard line. And that's going to bring up a 3rd down and a long 11. And they're going into a stiff wind if he's thinking about throwing the football.
Well, they don't have to throw the football at this point, Mike. They're moving the ball. He just ran an option there. He picked up a couple, but
they've also got 2 plays to get it.
Right.
They're not going to try and kick a field goal into this, I wouldn't think.
Out of the I formation. Moylan with the long count. Resets the offense. Sonsini goes back to the tailback spot. The give is to Sonsini. He gets out across the left side, gets out across the 20, and down near the 17-yard line, so it will bring up a 4th down and a long 2 as Schaff makes the stop for the Ramblers. Sonsini slow to get up, but Moylan brings him to his feet.
That play didn't help.
That killed him. At this stage of the game, they feel like they're in total control.
Boy, is that guy quick.
8:27 remaining in the football game. 14-6 our score. 4th down and a long 2 for CB West. They are at the Cathedral Prep 17-yard line. They'll go out of the I formation. Binder is the fullback. Now they reset. Sonsini comes back to the tailback position out of the I. The ball is loose on the football field. Either way, the Ramblers will take over. And what a break for Cathedral Prep.
That's what they needed. A little spark, a little something to go in your favor. Maybe that'll help the offense. Plenty of time left, 8 minutes and 8 seconds. That might be just a little bit of spark, a little bit of inspiration they need to get a drive going here.
Like you said before, they didn't go for the 2 points, which, it's a tough decision to make. It's easy to say from up here what to do, but it could come back and haunt them. Prep could drive down, score, go for 2, and it'd be a tie ball game.
Center split to the far side of the field. The pitch comes left to Mark Tate. Flag down on the play. Tate gets out across the 20 to near the 21-yard line.
I think Prep moved, and did you see Tate mishandle that one? That was a little scary.
He's having trouble, and the ball might be a bit slippery with the rain.
That backs him up just a little bit more.
And the flag will go against the Cathedral Prep Ramblers. We'll wait for the official call from our referee.
Illegal motion, offense, repeat first down.
He sounds pretty good on TV, doesn't he? He's like those NFL guys. You know, that one guy that smiles all the time. What's his name?
He does. And you notice we don't have any feedback either. I mean, when you get the squeaks and everything else, boy.
Yeah, everything's looked great so far, hasn't it?
Thus far, and they accept the score at this point, which is 14-6 in favor of CB West. First down and 15. The Ramblers backed up, and it says Bickey back to pass, looking for the screen, and almost, really. Whew. That was a close call for the Prep Ramblers.
Well, when you're trying to set up a screen, you want some penetration, obviously, but you don't want the penetration to come that quick.
Bickey is 1 for 5 for 5 yards in the passing department. That's going to bring up a 2nd down and 15. They're backed up at their own 14-yard line and have got to generate some kind of offense here in the 4th quarter with just 7:44 remaining in the football game.
At this stage of the game, it's going to be tough for Prep because Prep's getting a little bit out of their game plan here, and they're not really used to running things like you just saw the screen. It just didn't look that smooth, like their sweeps and their tosses.
And Tate is out of the football game, comes to the sideline. And there's Bickey going back to pass, getting pressure, and he's dropped for a loss at the 9-yard line. Coming up on the sacks is Moore. as he tried stepping up in the pocket. Also, there was DeLuca. So now the Ramblers are faced
with a third and forever.
Third and a long way. We'll call it almost 20. As they stand at their own 9-yard line, Tate goes back into the football game. Chantel Hilliard will come to the sideline.
Well, we haven't seen Tate run a streak up the sideline. I mean, it's not the best conditions to do it, and it's pretty obvious to Central Bucks West that Ramblers are in a throwing situation. We're either going to get a draw here or they're going to look for Tate.
And the fake on the draw. He's getting pressure, loses the football. It's on the field, and CB West comes up with it at the 1-yard line. Coming up with it is Moore. He picks up the football, and boy, the Ramblers have problems now because they will have first and goal at the 1-yard line, and the wind is certainly picking up, and it is beginning to look dismal for the Cathedral Prep Ramblers.
Now, this is exactly what Central Bucks West did against Easton. They got behind 1-0, 6-0 early in the game, and we take another look at it. We're going to see as Bickey will just lose the handle on it right there. They get a hand on him, and I think that was Binder, who was the fullback, number 33, got a hand in there and caused Isbicki to drop the football, and then CB West is all over it. Ryan Moore with the fumble recovery, and he's the captain.
So on first and goal, they give it to the fullback Binder. He doesn't get in this time. In fact, the Ramblers stop him cold.
It was a great play by the inside of the line, and it's just, Prep's just had a nightmare second half. It's all been little mistakes, turnovers. I don't think they've been getting outplayed, but when you get these kind of breaks, you can't give the ball to a team like CW West on the 1-yard line. I mean,
so they got to keep them out. If they got any hopes of still winning the football game, they have to keep them out of the end zone with 6 minutes left to play.
Moylan gives it to Binder. He tries getting in, and he stopped short and now works his way, and second effort gets him into the end zone for his third touchdown of the football game. And CB West has now just gone on top by the score of 20-6 with 6 minutes remaining in the football game. The Ramblers certainly now with their backs against the wall.
That's all extra effort there. The Prep completely stuffed them at the line of scrimmage. The guy with a nice spin move back into the interior, and no one was there gang tackling for the Ramblers. No inside pursuit, which they needed in that situation.
The kid shows tremendous power. He's held up, like you said, and it's not like he's got his feet banging. He's just in there squeezing it out and reaches over and scores.
Patterson for the extra point. The snap is high. He gets it down. The kick is up. And it is no good. So with 6:01 remaining in quarter number 4, it's CB West 20, Cathedral Prep 6.
When you were growing up and people, kids ask you, well, what does your daddy do? I mean, how'd you answer that?
Well, Daddy flies to the moon.
On the next Geraldo, what's it like when Dad's an astronaut, a famous crooner, a movie star, or the world's favorite cowboy?
I never brought my boyfriends over to the house. I was too afraid of my father.
Growing up behind the scenes while Daddy's in the spotlight. Daughters of superstar dads, next Geraldo.
Watch Geraldo Monday at 4 on TV 24.
An interesting stat that pretty much tells the story here in the second half. Cathedral Prep with 10 carries rushing for -4 yards, while CB West has 23 carries for 110 yards and 3 touchdowns. Minna George with reason to be upset at this point in the football game. His club trailing 20-6 with 6:01 remaining. Patterson to kick again. Sonsini is holding it down, and again a squib kick. Bounces, and it's taken by the Ramblers at the 16-yard line. Good return. He breaks free. He's out across the 45 to the 45-yard line of CB West. So the Ramblers now in good field position.
Well, they could have used that as a run back. Boy, that would have put them, I'll tell you what, with 5:53 left to play, if Hager could have taken that one 45 more yards. Huge hole opened up. We got a great vantage point right here. You see Hager just finds the seam, and it just runs right by everybody. A saving tackle there. 39 yards on the run back for Dorian Hager, who's also a fabulous wrestler.
Is Bickey to throw, looks down the right side, and it is picked off by CB West. DeLuca with it. Running downfield. And he has finally run out of bounds inside the 30-yard line. So what hopes the Ramblers had with the great kickoff return by Hager were quickly diminished by the interception by DeLuca.
I thought there was a flag on the play, but that was one of the Ramblers' orange towels.
DeLuca gets the pick off, and he's off to the races.
Looks like that one got caught up in the wind a little bit.
Yeah, it just looked like it got hung up in the wind, like you said, and died. And big time break for Central Bucks West, and that killed him right there.
20-6 the score. CB West with the football. The ball on the 29-yard line. First down and 10 yards to go. The give to Sonsini off the left side. He gets a first down and is finally run out of bounds just outside the 15-yard line by Coleman. And from the AAA game, we do have good news to report. Strong Vincent with the lead at 29-20 in the AAA state championship game. And Minna George pacing the sidelines. And obvious disgust at the situation here in Altoona, Pennsylvania, where CB West has the lead, the football, and a first down and 10 at Cathedral Prep's 18-yard line out of the I formation. The give to Sonsini off the left side.
I tell you what, no matter what happens in this game, you have Cathedral Prep playing a fourth-ranked team in the country. They're ranked 17th. With the exception of a couple of these big breaks, really they played with this team all the way.
The second half, that was the story. Some key turnovers. Able to put the ball in the end zone. Binder doing a nice job running the ball from his fullback position. 3 touchdown carries on the afternoon. The only touchdown of the afternoon for the Ramblers came late in the first half as Mark Tate carried it 12 yards off the right side for the touchdown. But it's Moylan on the keeper, getting pressure and rolled down by Coleman near the left sideline. 4:33 remaining in the football game. Shaun Coleman there to contain him, brings him out at roughly the 13-yard line.
In a situation like this, CB West has the big advantage. I mean, they're up at this point. They got a great field position. And you look at the shot there, the flag with the wind blowing.
Out of the I formation, Moylan with Binder. Now they shift again. Sonsini back to the tailback position. Moves a man up to the slot left side to give the give to Sonsini. And he gets it and loses the football. It's free in the end zone.
It up right there.
And it is a touchdown for CB West as they recover in the end zone. And that pretty much, as you said, Duff, summarizes everything. Mill will get the touchdown for CB West.
Unbelievable.
All breaks going in their favor. And, you know, like we said early, when you play a team like this and they're getting breaks like that.
First of all, they have him hemmed in the backfield. And Sonsini finds a way to get free, then just gets absolutely thumped on the play by Ramphis Perez and right into the end zone for a touchdown. You know what? The real shame of this whole thing is it's going to look like Prep wasn't even in this football game. The people that are sitting here watching it and the people that are watching it back home in Erie know that Cathedral Prep was in this football game throughout until just about right now, and it's not going to look like that.
And the extra point attempt is no good. 26-6, the Ramblers trail with 3:50 left to go in this state championship game. So the Ramblers with little hope at this point as time is running down. It's very windy out. The rain is coming down. And Cathedral Prep is definitely, as you said, Duff, it's a tough situation because a couple of breaks that really turned this game in favor of the Bucks. But give them credit as well. They have a nice football team, some very good talent. Binder rose to the occasion and really picked them up in the second half.
Hey, you make your own breaks, you know. You do things like that. You're taught to go after the football, and you put the other team in a position where they have to play catch-up, and you take them out of their game plan. Prep hasn't had to play catch-up most of the year until the last couple times in the playoffs. And even then, when they're catching up, they're doing it in the first quarter. They're not doing it late in the game where they've got to do it in a hurry. So, Central Bucks West made their own breaks there. That's a very, very good football team.
It's not that even just they're making turnovers. I mean, they've been getting turnover. They've been turning the ball over inside the red zone, and that's killing them. I mean, they're punching them in. They don't even have to take these turnovers very far to score.
So Hilliard on the return, not a bad return, with time winding down, 3:43 to go here in the football game. And again, at this point, the Strong Vincent Colonels with the lead at 29-20 in the AAA game. The Cathedral Prep Ramblers take a timeout with 3:43 remaining in the game, and they are trailing 26-6. And what do you tell your team when you're down at this point, this late stage in the game, when you take the timeout and head out on the field?
Well, I tell you, there's not really much you can say to them. They know they've worked hard and made it all the way to this point in the season, and they're down 3 touchdowns now with 3 minutes to go, and we have terrible conditions weather-wise, but I'm sure they're going to give you everything they got for the next 3:43.
And unfortunately, it looks like the season may end this way for the Cathedral Prep Ramblers, who were simply amazing throughout the year, rolling up win after win. A great year again for head coach Minna George, who I know is going to be extremely disappointed, as you know, you can just see by the expression on his face. He's done so well with this program, and keep in mind, coming in, they said he would have trouble winning the Metro League. He wouldn't win the districts. He wouldn't really have accomplished anything, and here he is in Altoona, Pennsylvania, playing for the state championship. So certainly a great season. Unfortunately, the losing effort is what sticks in your mind, but it's Mark Tate with the carry out across the 35 to the 36-yard line. Sweat on the stop. 3:30 remaining in the game, and the Cathedral, actually the officials take a timeout.
Got an injured player, I think, Mike. 66 for the Ramblers.
This is going to be the last game for Mark Tate as a Rambler. I don't know if we have the stats. Do we have the stats on him for the day?
We'll get them momentarily.
He's got to be close to 2,000 yards rushing. He came in with 1876, over 2,000 all-purpose yards. He is over 100 yards, 25 carries, 121 yards, and 1 touchdown.
And limping off the field, the Ramblers, again, with a tough injury, and it's kind of indicative of the game because it hurts at this point. And he'll go out of the I formation. Bickey will pitch back to the left side. Hager run out of bounds on the Prep sideline at about the 44-yard line. And Central Bucks West, their first time in the playoffs, and Williamson on the stop, looking as though they're going to capture the state championship and complete the sweep of the season, going undefeated. Certainly a great program. Head coach Mike Pettin done a super job. He'll improve the 13-0 on the season. He'll improve the 229, 35-4 for his career. An 86% winning percentage for Pettin has been incredible, but Minna George at 83% isn't too bad himself. The Ramblers with the first down.
And this is also his 14th undefeated season.
Pettin at this point should be writing his own ticket into future jobs, but their situation in Doylestown, PA, Central Bucks East and Central Bucks West, the big rivals, and their Thanksgiving Day game each and every year is a big one, and it was a big one again this year as Hager with a nice carry out to the 47. But Doylestown is home to the Naval Base, NADC, the Naval Aerial base, but that base is scheduled to be closed down by the United States government, phased out here in the next 5 years, and some of the fans telling us prior to the game that it's going to have a definite impact on their community. They expect to lose a lot of families and a lot of their quality ball players. And the pitch goes to Hager on the right side. We've got flags down on the play, but he's still going out across the 35-30. And Williamson tracks him down, but I believe it may be a motion call against the Ramblers.
They'll get used to seeing Hager. He's only a junior. He'll be back next year. Quite a few pieces of this puzzle will be back for Minna George next year, including the quarterback, Harry Bickey. They get Hager back. He's a great player. He averaged about 6.6 yards per carry, only carried it 73 times. You just see the PIAA runner-up trophy in the front there, and the Ramblers will take that home, and they will take that home proudly, I'm sure.
Here's the defense with too many men on the field. Decline. First down, Black.
for the
So
call.
we're getting a little look at Hager here, and he's going to be a nice player. And Prep, of course, will be strong again next year in the Metro, and of course will be a force in the whole district.
Another amazing stat Prep has. You have Mark Tate, he's averaging 7 yards a carry. Hilliard, 5.6, and you just said Hager, 6.6, and Isbicki, 7 yards a carry. Those 4 guys over 5 yards a carry.
Motion on the right side of the line of the Ramblers stops the play. So that will back them up 5 yards. 2 minutes and 20 seconds to go in the PIAA Quad A State Championship matchup. The Ramblers losing 26-6, but again, as Duff pointed out just minutes ago.
Illegal procedure. Offense. First down.
As Duff pointed out minutes ago, that the score no way indicative of the action here today, and Cathedral Prep was really in it the entire way. They led at halftime 6-0 after a touchdown run by Mark Tate, but some turnovers and the poor weather really worked against them as Hager with a nice carry gets out across the 25 to about the 22-yard line. As you see the time on a ticking fourth quarter clock, the score 26-6. Second down, or actually second down and a long 8 for Cathedral Prep.
I like to see the Ramblers punch one in here. Leave a little bit with a better taste in their mouth. Oh my Lord, did he take a smack?
Dorian Hager hit hard by Williamson.
Hager's real explosive. I don't know what his 40 time is, but he hits that hole quick.
Watch this.
And he's really accelerating.
And there you see the hit by Williamson. But Hager bounces right back up.
Tough kid, Hager. You got to be a tough kid to be a state wrestling champion, and that's what Dorian Hager is.
Get out of the eye. McMahon split to the far side. It gives it to Hager. Left side. Cuts back nicely. Gets across the 10. Fights his way down near the 5-yard line. Flags down on the play.
Might have been a face mask. I'm not sure where the flag was at, but it looked like they might have got a little bit of Hager's face mask. I haven't seen that is the preliminary indication.
1:14 remaining from Mansion Park in Altoona, Pennsylvania. And when we woke up...
Face mask against the defense. First down.
And when we woke up early this morning here, it was warm and dry, and boy, things changed, and so does the outlook for the Cathedral Prep Ramblers in this football game with under 1:15 to play. But Isbicki out of the I formation now, set up inside at the 4-yard line of CB West, trying to punch one more in. Dorian Hager with the carry and gets into the end zone for the touchdown, so the Ramblers are on the board again. And that is his first touchdown of the season for Dorian Hager. So a nice way to get it in a state championship football game. Nice carry, and really he's been the workhorse this drive as you take a look at it again.
Yeah, Hager's got a nice nose for the hole. He showed it on this whole drive, and nice to see Hager get the touchdown. He did all the work on the drive. Well, he had some help from those big guys up front, but Hager really did the running work himself, and he runs in the 2-point try.
And he does convert on the 2-point conversion, so the drive covers 65 yards and 9 plays, takes 2 minutes and 43 seconds off the clock. It's capped off by a touchdown run by Hager of 4 yards and the 3-yard run, 2-point conversion, so that brings the score to 26-14. The Ramblers trailing with 1:07 remaining in the football game. I would have bet that they would go for the onside kick at this point, try and get the football back, and it will be Brian Bauman doing the kicking, the brother of NFL place kicker Charlie Bauman, who, keep in mind, Charlie Bauman played for this football team back in the days of Mark Stepnoski, and when the two were on the same football team, they had a season at 5-5. So
go figure that.
Figure that out when you got a couple NFL stars, but that's the kind of tradition that prep football is all about. Some men in the NFL, some great people around the country, and a great program. And the final score from the AAA contest, the Strong Vincent Colonels capture the state championship by the final score of 29-20 in a shootout. Great football game. John Evans will have the highlights of that game for you tonight on Action Sports at 6 o'clock. I forget sometimes, Duff. You'll have to forgive me. And Prep does. No, it will be CB West football. And they will.
It looked like they recovered it, but I don't think it went to 10 yards, so CB can take the ball right there and have it kick over again.
I'm sure they'll take it there at Prep's 49-yard line.
Again, let me remind you that the PIAA rules prohibit spectators from coming into the field. Will be strictly enforced, so we would like spectators to remain.
1 minute and 5 seconds on a ticking fourth quarter clock is all that separates CB West from their first ever PIAA State Quad A football championship. The Ramblers will return home with the runner-up trophy, and again anticipate them to arrive roughly 4 to 5 hours from the end of this football game. They will stop along the way to pick up some fast food to eat, but a turnout to welcome them home is expected by a lot of people involved with the prep program. They're hopeful because they certainly gave us reason to cheer the entire season, and a great football program, great tradition. So figure if this game ends roughly at 3:30, 9:30 or so. And Mike Pettin getting congratulated on the far sideline for his state championship win, and they will down the football. Moylan takes a knee. The clock continues to run, and it's going to wind down, and there's going to be a celebration in Doylestown, Pennsylvania tonight, because CB West has captured the state championship by the final score of 26-14. Cathedral Prep and Minna George and his team unfortunately not able to capture the state championship, but it does bring to a close a super season for Cathedral Prep and a really fantastic season. Unfortunately, what they'll probably remember is this last football game.
It's tough. I mean, he came all this way, and you work hard, and hey, he's 14-0 coming to this game. That's no small accomplishment, and you lose in the state championship game. You know, even though they made it second in the state, it's just going to be tough for the team to take for a little while.
Yeah, once you get into the playoffs, that's the tough situation about the whole playoffs. You play so hard and work so hard for so long to get into the playoffs, and then every team but one finishes up the season with a loss. So that's the tough part of being in the playoffs. And you know, it's real easy for us to sit up here and say Prep can hold their head up and they played great, and this, that, and the other thing. But you know, don't go down and tell any of those guys from Prep that right now, because this is going to be a tough one for them to take. When you get this far and let it slip away from you, it's something that's going to stick with you.
So the teams are meeting at midfield as the Ramblers congratulate the Bucks of CB West on their state championship performance. The Ramblers, no reason to hang their heads, and we will take a break and come back after this timeout. But again, the Ramblers lose it by the final of 26-14.
At the First National Bank of Pennsylvania, we're working hard to keep you, our customer, first.
We're dedicated to helping you achieve financial success
With the finest banking services available. Whatever your needs, our aim is to provide a level of
quality and service that is second to none. In every transaction, large or small,
in every service, whether it be checking, savings, trust, or lending, our goal is simple: customer satisfaction.
When friends don't stop friends from drinking and driving. Friends die from drinking and driving. Friends die from drinking, and friends don't let friends drive drunk.
Welcome back to Mansion Park in Altoona, Pennsylvania, where you see the Cathedral Prep Ramblers receiving the state runner-up trophy, and certainly reason to be proud. A great season. 26-14 the final score, and it's a sad moment for the Ramblers, especially the seniors and the captains. As you see them looking on, there's McMahon looking on and Schaff receiving the trophy, the captains of the team. A great season. Sitter walking into your shot. There's one of the Baumans, and Hager, who had a great effort late in the game. Chantel Hilliard, and there's Brian Bauman, just a sophomore. The future definitely looking up for the Cathedral Prep Ramblers, as Kaczynski, the big tight end, not a big factor today, but he's definitely someone that the teams, the Division I colleges, are looking at heavily, as Dr. Russell Werner presents Moylan. and the captains of their football team with the state championship trophy. As you see the celebration taking place, and those gentlemen deserve a round of applause because they are crowned the best in the state.
And the Ramblers, you know, besides being second best in the state, don't forget they're ranked 17th in the country, and they've proven themselves to be a top contender in the country as far as ratings go.
And CB West holds the trophy high and have reason to be proud. They are bringing the Quad A State Championship back to Doylestown, PA, but the Ramblers will come home winners because of the great season, reaching this milestone of reaching the state championship game. And there you see the final score again, 26-14, Central Bucks West with the win over the Cathedral Prep Ramblers. And a great year for the Ramblers, and they will head to the locker room and head back home, and they expect the crowd to be there to meet them. And that's going to do it for our broadcast from Altoona, Pennsylvania. For my colleagues this afternoon.